We're going to play some Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. My little splash screen there didn't work so well, but this is going to be focused around the city of Xambaala, which is how I think you say it. So that's how I'm going to say it. The group here has been traveling the different various parts of Hyperborea. They've been with this caravan for, anywhere from a couple months to 6 months. And most of this time that you've been with the caravan, these caravans travel all over the place, and a lot of people join them. People, that are good with arms or maybe have a little magic. They join these caravans as means to go between place to place. There's not really any money in it. You guys aren't really officially caravan guards yet. What you're doing is you're essentially getting your travel, like you get to be part of the caravan, and they feed you, and you do small things. Like if the caravan itself gets attacked, you'd want to defend yourself, and you'll help set up camp and stuff, and then do general labor. Whenever you guys get to any of the villages or towns that you get to, the caravan leader, his name being Dominus, he is pretty generous. He'll throw you a handful of copper to go get some drinks or whatever, but you don't really get paid for this. It's literally you're just getting your transport. A lot of people do this. However, yesterday, which was the 7th day of the 7th month of the 7th year, very, very ancient woman was traveling with you, a prophet, a witch, woke with a vision that of the entire caravan, some 80 or so of you dying of thirst as you cross this desert. The leader, Dominus, checked the stores. You guys have plenty of water. It's not an issue. You're only about a week out from Xambaala. However, these types of portents are not taken lightly. So he's actually recruited some of the people that had worked well together to a slightly higher post, and you are them. You're being given some camels, and you will receive 20 silver pieces upon arrival in Xambaala, and another 100 once he cashes out the stuff that he has to do when he gets there. And you've been promoted. And your first task here is you and 3 other bands, actually, but you're all heading to the north, are going to try to find a source of water. There's not any known on this typical path that he goes, but of course there's water in the desert if you look for it. So you all have been sent out to see if you can find a water source for the caravan, and then you're going to rendezvous and catch back up with them, at the end of the day. It's like the morning. Now, I'll point out that being in the height of summer, essentially the sun is not going down. I mean, the day's dim, it's brighter in the middle of the day than it is in the morning and the end of the day. But the sun basically circles around the horizon, never quite dipping below. So what's considered the day or the night is just kind of part of what people do socially. So it's what we considered the morning, and people are up and getting ready to go. And you've got about essentially 12 hours or so to explore and come back with hopefully some results of some water. So I'm going to just have you guys briefly introduce your characters, and then we'll kind of go for it. I'm just going to go in the order that I have you across. Actually, I'm going to go by this. So, Nikki, go ahead and introduce your character.
Okay, this is Penista Penreal Toes, the Bard. She is from the city-state of Chromarium. She is a common human, female. And she was this daughter of tanners and saddlers, and they wanted her to continue and follow in their footsteps, but she did not like the smell at all. The smell was disgusting. And she always wanted to be a Viking because she's short. And one day, a Viking skald came into the shop to get some leather work done and to have some skins processed. And she got to talking to Penesta about the illimitable black gulf from which bards draw their power. And Penesta decided that she wanted to be powerful if she couldn't be tall. So she decided to, inspired by the skald, decided to train as a bard, and much to her parents' dismay. And now she wanders with adventurers trying to compose tales of glory and daring do, and be as Viking-like as she can at 5'2". So that is Penista Pinwheel Toes.
Excellent. Well, hopefully there'll be many good tales to tell when this is over. And then we will go to Kenneth.
I am Uhtred Rivtanderson. I'm a young man of 18. I am blonde of hair and beard, fair of skin, tall, 6'4", broad of shoulder and chest, and most importantly, virile. I have come to these lands from New Vinland. I gone Viking with Jarl Iverson when our Drakkar capsized in the storm. I was afloat many days and awoke on these sandy shores. I now seek my destiny and maybe a few women. And that's it.
Excellent. Crystal.
You see in a jewelry store located in some city, people walking around as the camera kind of goes in and looks around. You then see a young woman as she uses an eyepiece to look over some of the jewels. And then finally an older woman says, "Valkyria, please come here." And the young girl puts down the eyepiece in the jewelry and says, "Coming, mother." And as she reaches, the door shuts behind them. Her mother sits in the corner, painting on a board that's covering her face, and she says, "Valkyria, my daughter, my love, I feel that it is now time for you to set forth on your adventure, as I did many, many years ago. There are women all over the world that need our help rising up against their oppressors. Go, my daughter. Be good to them. I have practical supplies. They are behind you." And Valkyria turns to see her backpack all packed up and a little saddened at this, sudden interest of her mother's to leave, but she knows her mother's right. It's time for her to get set out and figure her destiny to help other women in another place that need it. As many women around here have already been helped. She takes her backpack and she opens the door and begins to walk out the store. And that is Valkyria, the young witch.
Excellent. So let me see if I can do this now. I'm going to try again. I never give up. There it is. Okay. So we got our first several PCs coming from the largest city down here, Cromarium, and our Viking from Vinland. And they've traveled quite a distance, possibly by sea or by land, all across Hyperborea to find themselves in the Zaka Desert. But we see over here the Garius Islands. And Tony.
The man preparing to go out to search for a water source, his hair is starting to go below his shoulders now, a little down his back, knowing that when he gets to the city, the first thing he will do will have to get his hair trimmed, but he keeps a small set of scissors himself to keep his mustache finely trimmed. He looks soft, he looks pudgy with the studded leather armor that he wears and the cape across and a sword at his side and daggers, but he's really not. Underneath all of it, he's a very lithe and limber 19-year-old man that stands about 5'6", and moves faster than a cat if he needs to be. But as they're preparing to go out on this, he thinks back and he looks down at the black raven amulet that hangs from the necklace. And he reaches and he grasps it and he says to himself, "And I will satiate the soul of the priest. The witches are not ones to be trusted. They say they've seen some foretelling of thirst and hunger for us, but there is only one God that I serve. That is the Raven. The Raven will protect me no matter what I do, what choices I make. As he starts to gallop off with the rest of them, that is Tan Rillis, the purloiner.
Excellent. And last but not least, Rush.
Traveling with the caravan, there'd be a young girl dressed in browns, leathers, browns and blacks. She's young, having seen barely her 17th year. Quiet, reserved. She's been with the caravan for quite a while now. This being her 5th month, she's one of the longer traveled with the caravan. She follows with them essentially as a wanderer, going place to place as the caravan stops. That seems to be from what any can tell, the entire intent is just to travel from city to city and see the sights. She's of common born, but occasionally as she goes into town and visits the establishments, she can be seen wearing a leather mask that covers just over her eyes, tooled brown leather, something that is betrays her heritage as hailing from the city of Port St. Gerios, the city of masks, where wearing such accoutrements are not only common but expected. During traveling, she tends to not wear it. So it's, kind of just as the mood strikes her with her not being in town. She wears a pair of matching daggers strapped to her hips, one to each hip, with another across the small of her back. And again, also short of stature, she rivals in her shortness. The only one who rivals her is that of the bard who travels with him, who is actually of literally the exact same height. I rolled the same number. And that would be, she simply goes by the name of Zulia. When inquired about a family name or anything like that, she would just simply repeat the name of Zulia.
Excellent. So from across the islands to the mainland, traveled many months through the mountains. Like the rest, you find yourself in the Zakath Desert. Let's see if I can get this map again here, since I did it so well that first time. So this desert is huge, as you guys all know. And essentially, you're going to Xambaala down there. You can see it. You guys have, you didn't go to Lithorium. Maybe you've heard things about Lithorium. It is run by a witch, a very, very powerful witch. In fact, she controls this whole area. Technically, Xambaala is also under her reign, but this caravan seems to stay away from there because of the high taxes. So, but you had picked up a few merchants who were coming from the north and rendezvoused out in the desert. Kind of, if you look at this map, like right above where the T is, like somewhere in that general area. But you had picked up water ahead of that. You see that large lake. So you should have plenty, as noted. You've used, a third of your stores, and you only have about the same distance to go back. So, it seems there's all of Hyperborea. It seems odd, but again, one does not question such an old witch, as they tend to speak portents that may not be 100% accurate, but definitely have some kind of meaning. And those who believe in destiny at all believe that these things should be paid attention to. So as I said, you guys are heading out north. I mean, you know more or less where you can go. You can follow the sun. You know, you're all travelers with knowledge. So you don't feel like there'll be any chance of getting lost, even though the landscape itself is essentially dunes of scratchy, dark sand. It's not that fluffy beach sand like you might think. It's more of a hard, coarse earth. And you find, areas of shrubs growing, and occasionally lizards, kind of, especially this time of year, this year, the summer. Lizards and scurrying across past your borrowed camels as you move up, investigating the area. You travel for about 4 hours, so it's been quite a bit, and you're tapping into your water, taking a bit of a break before you kind of start to crest a larger sand dune that you see kind of in front of you. And as you do, you stop, you drink some water, you get back on the camels, or maybe you're walking them at this point, as the sand dune is pretty tall. And when you get to the top, you can see down. You see two things, which are both interesting sights. Both north, but kind of off to the northeast. You see what looks like the remnants of a town. I'll call it a town because there's not that many buildings there, and you can actually see that it looks like there's maybe a dozen buildings, all relatively small. You can see a patch of what was probably some kind of a road that went through it, but any road coming to or leaving it seems to have been lost in the times. But you can see kind of like through the center of it, you see the remnants of like some stone or whatever. The buildings are all this kind of sandstone, and probably if the light was not of midday like it is now, you might not have even noticed it. It might have even seen a mirage, as it's almost camouflaged in the desert sands. But what caught your eye, and the reason why you saw it, is beyond it, maybe a few miles past it, you think that you see the glint of some kind of small lake or pond, maybe is maybe a better word for it. You can definitely see, like, just as you're squinting at it, you can see bits of reflection, which you sometimes get off the sand, but this seems to be water. And then, as I say, as you bring your eyes back, you see kind of between you and the we'll call it oasis, is this small town, deserted, apparently. And sitting up on top of the sand dune. What do you guys think?
I wonder if it's possible there could be a well in that town.
Well, there's a lake. It looks clear from here. But I see no people in there.
Checking the town might be a good idea. Even if it looks empty or deserted from here, there may still be people down there. We shouldn't just go stealing their water without permission.
That is why you should let myself and Zol go first. I believe we have the best chances of not being surprised.
My kinsman speaks true.
Agreed.
Give us 50 foot ahead of you and we'll give you the signal.
Well, just make sure you don't shoot first and ask questions later.
I can't hardly hear you, Crystal. Your volume's real low.
Oh, sorry. I don't really know how to fix that. She says, I'll just speak up a little bit. She says, well, make sure you don't shoot and then ask questions later.
He spits on the ground and ignores what you say.
I would look over at her and say, we tend to try to not draw attention if we can help it. I think we'll be fine. But thank you.
So there's a bit of a distance. I mean, I know you're just gonna like just slightly go ahead of the party, or is the rest of the party gonna stay back? Because you're looking at maybe quarter of a mile to get to the town. You're up on a hill, basically seeing it.
Yeah, if they're up on a hill, then I say we could probably just either ride forward or hop down and just kind of, make our way forward on foot. And if they're up on a hill, they should be able to see us pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, they'll definitely be able to see. The question is just how far advanced how far in advance? Daniel can't talk.
I know.
How far forward do you want to be from the party? Like, are you going to go all the ways and they're going to stay where they are, or?
Zulia will look at 10 and say, "Let's go halfway and see what we see."
Yeah, so let's go, and the rest of you maybe stagger yourselves out. Don't stay grouped up, because if it's some form of trap, they'll get you in the group first.
Good advice.
So I'm actually going to get off my. Are we on horses or camels? I'm sorry.
You're on camels. They're like those single hump camels.
I'm going to get off my camel, and I'm actually, since it's only a quarter of a mile, I mean, that's nothing. So I'm gonna do it on foot.
Okay. Yeah, you dismount and make your way down. You're on like this hill of like this rough sand, so you're kind of going down and like occasionally like slip a little bit. I mean, not dangerously, but you work your way down the small hill, and then you're kind of in like a little valley. So this place is definitely not flat. And you guys, you guys are kind of moving forward. You go up a little bit, then down a little bit. And when you get about halfway there, you find yourself on maybe if we'll say above like the low point, the first hill was like maybe 200 feet. You're on a hill that's maybe like 100, so maybe half as tall again as the hill that the rest of the party is still on. And you can definitely see down into this town now. Being this close, you can see that on the east side, it looks like a decent amount of the buildings look like collapsed. And you do actually see two what look to be wells in the center. You see these kind of like circular round, areas like you might think is a well. They're covered, you think, because you don't see any reflection, or you don't see any. But that's not uncommon in the desert to just like, it's not like a well that they keep the bucket hanging down. Usually these wells are covered with wood so they don't evaporate. So you can't see any like glint of water or anything, but you think you see a couple of areas that look like they could be wells in the town.
Are the buildings on this side near the wells intact though?
Well, you see two wells. One is on kind of the east side of the town. If you imagine that the road of the town divides the town east-west, almost 50-50 actually. On the east side, something like half the buildings are collapsed, and there is a well there. And then on the west side, from the position you're in, it looks like all those buildings are in pretty good shape, and you see a well there as well. So it looks like there's two different wells, or possible wells.
Yeah, Tan will look at Zool and go, one of us should go to the east, check the buildings, one of us to the west. You make your choice first.
I will go to the east, but do you not find it strange that this town, which appears to have what looks to be fresh water, would be deserted? It seems a good place. And I don't know. I would be wary.
Yes, that's what I think. And if we don't get ambushed and taken out before the rest of them get here, maybe our good witch Vale can taste the water and see if it's drinkable. But let's head that way, and you'll see Tan start going to the west side, man.
Yep. I'll start heading to the east, and as I do, I'll turn. And since we don't see any people, I'll turn and kind of motion to everybody to start coming on heading this way.
Okay, yeah, and you're gonna. You guys are on foot, right? So, you guys. So the rest of the party, that you get a signal to follow, which I'm assuming that you do.
Yeah.
And you can bring along their mounts, I suppose. Yeah, so let me show you a little what you guys kind of see as far as the town's concerned. There it is. Always takes a second. Okay. So basically, you're looking at, again, on the east side, you see there's a lot of these buildings are trashed. And you see that well there in the center. There's that bit of road in the center. That's pretty much beyond what you see on the map. It gets eaten up by the desert. So that's all the kind of road that you see. On the west side, as you get closer, you do see one of the buildings is collapsed, but most of them are actually in pretty good shape. Because I'm assuming that you're coming from the east and the west. So certainly if you came in, like let's say Tony, you're coming from the east, right? If you came in,
I'm going to the west side.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so Xambaala, you're going to see basically these buildings. You're coming on that side of it, whereas like you're coming in over here, and then you probably notice. I got your name covered. Tan, right? You notice that one building in the back. Looks a little beat as you're coming around. Could we imagine that you're kind of like.
Will that be the closest building to me when I'm coming in? The one that's kind of collapsed?
Yeah, if you're coming from the side, probably then like this would probably be the closest building, right? For Rush's character, and you would be like this, I guess, or that one or the other.
Oops, it's not showing up for me.
You don't see the arrow?
I see a blue arrow at the collapsed building, but I don't see a blue arrow on the other side.
Oh, how about now?
No, I guess this screen deal's blocking something. I don't know why it's
Oh,
blocking.
all right. I'll try to point from the other way. How about that?
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of where
it's long, so you might just stretch your screen out. Yeah.
So as I approach the first of the broken buildings, I'm going to just go ahead and pull my daggers. And actually, for this one, I think I'm going to pull my hand axe that I have, and just I'll just start inspecting. So I'll start with the building that has the blue arrow, inspecting through that, and then I'll move to the broken building to the south, and then I'll move to the unbroken building above that.
Okay. All right. So you're doing that, and so which building do you want to look at? If you're looking at those three buildings,
if I'm moving from the road over that way, like the arrow is.
No. I imagine based on what you said. I mean, you can be if you want, but I imagine from what you said that you are coming from. You're coming from the west side. I just drew the arrow that way so you could see it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to the broken building first.
Okay. So yeah, you get to these buildings. They look to be what probably this is actually the case for both of you guys. They look to be like probably small houses, like maybe they were residents of people. It looks like that they're pretty old. You can tell by kind of looking at them as you get closer, and that whoever originally lived in them probably left a while back, and then since then, maybe some animals have taken residence, and possibly some vagabonds at some point. So you see like lots of like bits of trash, and so some of it looks much older than other bits. So it's not like this is some undiscovered place you think. I mean, based on what you can see, that's the case in both of you for that first building there and the first wrecked one that you go to, Xambaala.
Does the well appear to be covered? Have a cover on it from there? Then I can tell.
If you come around the front there to so that's where you're going to head. You can see that the well has a cover on it.
I'm going to pick up a hand-sized rock and throw it and try to land it on top of that cover and see if anything happens.
Okay. Yeah. So you look in there and you kind of come around and you see that and you're going to pick up a rock and throw it. Rush, sorry, I'll get the names eventually. Rush is Zula, right? Zula, you move up to the second building. This one looks like it hasn't really been occupied in a long time, you would think. You don't see the trash and stuff that you see in the other wrecked building. This one looks like intact for a ruin, in a sense that like it's like everything in there looks rotted and broken, and nothing looks like it's been like moved or repurposed or anything. So as you're kind of looking there, you probably hear it, but it's not probably too distracting to you. You throw that rock, tan, and it hits the lid. It makes kind of a hollow sound, so you think it's definitely space underneath it. It seems like it's hollow, like it could be a well. It doesn't break the wood, but that's probably it's in the desert, so it's probably more dried out than it is rotted.
He's going to move to the middle building then, the one that's say like at 3 o'clock there by the well.
Okay, perfect. That building is the right page. Aha, let me open the document that actually has the information in it. That'd be so much more useful. It's closed. You can see the door on it. But it is, yeah, that building is pretty large. And actually, you probably saw because you came around the backside, there was a door there. It's got a pretty, the buildings themselves are this like sandstone, but this has a wooden door. And as noted, it's not like there's not really a lot of moisture here, so it didn't like rot out or whatever. So even though it looks quite old, it's still intact and it's closed.
Yeah, he's going to check it for traps then.
Okay. Yeah, so you approach it and start fiddling around looking for traps. What are you going to do over on the side there, Zula?
Sorry, I was muted. How close is the rest of the party to arriving?
I mean, if they're not rushing, which I don't think they are, I would say it's probably going to take them like maybe another like 5 minutes for them to come to you.
Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'll move straight up to the one building on the far left side, or whatever that's actually intact. Yep, that one right there.
This one?
Yep.
I can just do that to just point. So you're at this building and Tony's over here. That building. How did they put a dragon on that building? This is okay. So this building's a little. I mean, it looks from the backside. It kind of looked the same, as what you've seen. I mean, it's not in ruin. But when you come to the front, it's got kind of a very heavy wooden door. I mean, obviously you don't see the doors that Tony's card is looking at, but similar to that, like a really well made door. But this one's got kind of like relief carving, like not super like high art, more kind of like folk artish into the door. It seems to be from what you can make out of it, maybe like kind of nature, like the sun, like the moons, like kind of carved into it roughly. And as you look across the front of the building, you can see very, very faintly now because it's so faded, similar type things painted or dyed or whatever into the stone on the front. So there's this whole like kind of graffiti, if you will, of this like kind of the nature, like basically sun, moon, like trees, stuff like that.
Okay.
Tony, what's your check for traps?
Sorry.
512. I mean, I'm sorry, 312. 312.
312. Okay. Yeah, you check the door. It doesn't look like there's any kind of trap. I mean, there's no like. It is locked. It has like an actual proper lock on it. But it's you peek in the lock and there's no like any kind of switch, like a needle, and there's no wires or anything like that around the door, or pit in front of it or anything like that. It looks pretty safe.
Yeah, I'll use my tools then to try to pick the lock and get in.
Okay, you can roll that one. How about you, Rush? Sorry, Zula. I got to get this, by the way. We'll get it close.
It's Zulia, like Julia, but with a Z.
Zulia.
Yeah. I'm actually going to leave that building alone for the moment.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is there's 3 more buildings. I mean, the ones that are all just.
By the way, guys, I think if you go up to somewhere on your screen, there should be like a thing that says annotation, and you can actually draw on this. It's like annotate, I should say. So just so you know.
You have to click on view options and then there's annotate. All right. So yeah.
So if you wanted to do that, you could draw on it. I mean, you don't have to. You kind of.
No, you're fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the well
Okay.
Because basically there's only two. There's only two more intact buildings from what I can see.
Yep.
Because the crumble of the other building is facing me. So I'm actually going to move to the well, which I'm assuming is also covered.
Yeah, it's covered.
So I want to move to the well, and I'm just going to like take my. So I got my hand axe in one hand. I'm going to take my dagger and just kind of wedge it under, and just kind of lift up. And I want to take a peek down inside and see if I see water down in the bottom of the well.
You'll need to. I mean, you would probably know that you will need to like lift it more to be able to see down into it because it's probably deep. I mean,
That's
you can
fine.
lift it up and nothing comes out when you lift it up, but you'll have to push the cover off more. Like just peeking, you won't see water.
Yeah, whatever I need to do, I want to be able to look in and see if I see water.
Okay, yeah. So you slide the top over so you can get a little light down into it. You kind of peek down. Yeah, it's a pretty deep well. It goes down at least 50, 60 feet, but you think you see some water down there. You see like a glint. You know, it's hard to see because it's in a well and it's like deep. But yeah, you think there's water down there, from what you can tell.
Okay.
Did you make that lockpick roll?
Yeah, I had a 1. I rolled a 1.
perfect.
So
Nice. Oh yeah, so you literally are like, oh, this is child's play. Yeah, and you're able to pop the door open. The door is really well made, and it's a well made lock, but maybe it wasn't secured all the way, and you're able to just kind of pop it pretty easily.
yep, I'll go on in and see what I observe.
Okay. So you open the door, and immediately you notice that there are maybe a half dozen what appear to be very young children, kind of laying on the floor, and they didn't seem to be moving at all. And then when you open the door, they turn, and you can see their face are pretty grotesque. You see bits of skull coming through, and some flesh, kind of what's left of it is kind of dried and stuck to the bone. And they, with raspy voices, they start to call out, ah! Like they're calling out, like they're crying. Basically, would be the best way to describe it.
Are they moving towards me or just still?
They're starting to get up, yes. And what you immediately notice in here is that basically the building is. I'll draw it for you. I'm going to do it really, really loose, but I think I can do this. The building's basically divided like this. As far as you can see it, there's a door down here as well. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that or not, but yeah. So
is that door closed? The partition door is closed?
Actually, it is actually open. So I should have drawn it like that. It's like that. It's opened up. It opens into the other room, and it is open, yeah. They're kind of between you and it, though, and they're getting up it.
I'm going to close the door that I just come through and try to lock it back.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. If you're successful, then I'll say that they just get to the door when you do it. If not, then we'll see if they get through. I think
it'll be a 3 out of 12 coming to manipulate, wouldn't it? Or
it'll be the same one as the locks. Yeah.
Yeah, open, so 3 out of 12. I rolled a 1 again.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, you closed the door, and you just, maybe the pick was still in there, and you just kind of like opened and peeked, saw that, and just closed it and twisted it back, and the door's locked as your body's studying.
I'm going to take off running towards like the road. You know, I don't know exactly where Zoe is, but I know once I get to the road that maybe she will see me or I will see her eventually.
Okay, yeah. So you run off towards the road. You can hear them banging, and you hear that kind of like as they're banging on the door as you start to. They're not very loud because they don't have any tongues, you know. But you run towards them. You can definitely do that. They're not able to get out the door. Yeah. So you run towards the road. I suppose.
Does Zoe? Do you have thieves' camp?
No, do not.
All right.
Nope. Yes, you can run out there if you were to call out, or if you just spend a minute just circling around the building, you'll find each other because you're pretty close together.
Yeah, once I find her, you can probably see the look on my face, and I go, "You didn't drink the water, did you?"
Hello.
I'm like, first of all,
Yes.
lower your voice. Secondly,
He's
no,
sitting next
all
to
I
me.
did was look in the well, and there is water down there. And then you came out running around the building like a madman.
I do believe the water has been poisoned. I will have to show you what I found, but we will wait till the rest of them get here. It is not a welcome sight to people who, well, it probably doesn't bother you and I as quite as much it will some of them. Let's put it that way.
Did you drink the water?
Of course not. I have not even looked at it yet.
Don't tell him that. It's just going to
Okay.
give him a swelled head.
Well, how do you know it's poison?
I will show you.
Okay. Well, okay.
So if you were to start to walk back in that direction, so you kind of cross that, you get on that street again, you look out and you can see that maybe like the rest of the party's starting to approach. They'll probably be there in like another like 2 minutes at the rate they're going. They're just like moving along.
Yeah, I'm going to whistle out at them or, something to try to get their attention, maybe to let them know to step it up a little bit. It's not in this, not danger, but, to kind of come on.
As we approach the road, though, that last building in the middle that looks like
I don't know
it's
about that.
still intact. I think there's one building that was still intact by the road on my side.
Well, there's two of them. Yeah. Hold on.
Oh,
I'll bring the thing back up. It's like that slight pause. Yeah. So you've got two, right? Because you were by the well, and whichever direction, you guys met from, but you have that kind of a larger one, and then you have kind of a smaller one.
So I'm going to guess that Tony probably came between the top and middle because that
would make the most sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So as we walk back that way, I'm gonna look at that top building right next to the road. Since I have no idea what the hell what the hell town is on about, so
you can see that this door also it's got like the same heavy duty door on it, and it has actually, you notice sitting on the ground, mostly rusted, but still kind of intact a bit, kind of like it was hanging on the door probably and it fell off. Is a what looks to be some kind of a symbol of like an anvil.
it's a blacksmith shop.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna try the door and see if it's locked.
It's locked.
All right, so then I'll peek to see how close the rest of them are, and if I have time to try to pick that lock, I will.
Yeah, you could probably pick it, and that would probably be as much time as you had before everybody joined you.
Okay. Let me find my. It's per the thief skill. So it's the basic thief ability. I wrote it down. There it is. Uh-oh. Do I have that? Open up. Yeah, 3.
Yeah, to be on D12.
Yes. 3 out of 12. And it's based on dexterity, so I do get my dexterity bonus, right?
So if you have a dexterity of 16 or more, you get +1. So it'll basically be 4 out of 12.
Not quite 16.
I think it's 16. It might be 15. What's your dex?
Well, it's 14, but that's an attack mod of +1. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So you don't get that. It's either 15 or 16. I can't remember, but it's definitely.
I saw the +1 and my brain immediately went ability bonus. All right. Nope. I try to pick this lock, and really, I'm just like trying to pick it, and I look like a 5-year-old trying to pick this lock. So if
I mean, it is likely the smith shop, so he probably has a pretty good lock.
I just look at 10, and I'm just like, it's not really my thing.
Well,
yes, you're fumbling with the lock. I'm sorry. As the other group of people arrive, I'm sorry, trying to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to tell Zoe, well, I can try to open it, but I believe we have a more pressing matter when the rest of them arrive. Do you have any type of ranged weapon?
There's a crossbow on my camel, which they just brought with them.
Okay, well, the building I just come from, there are some type of, I would not call them creatures, but I would not call them humans either. It appears the children were left here, and they have either been starved and come back as some type of undead, or they have some witch has thrown some type of spell on them, and they are creatures that will hunger after our flesh. So when we open the door, we will have to take them out.
But
Since no
they're
witchcraft
kids.
around here, it sounds like
Someone else
perhaps
is
you're just
outside. We can help. someone
saying
people.
fodder that those witches
I'm
a
out
bad
here, but
name.
I don't see anybody else.
You're not there yet, I don't think.
I thought we just pulled up.
Oh no, it's just me and Zoe. I was telling this
Yeah.
to Zoe.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are coming into the town. You're probably as they're having this conversation, like probably just as they finish it.
Um,
So you may or may not have heard him.
well, if you think it's witchcraft, you should
Okay.
probably
let's
tell
see. So
the
where
witch.
is?
And I lean over and I point toward
All right. Well,
Volcaria.
someone incoming.
And I'm like, I'm not
No,
really
but clicky,
excited about shooting at children.
Well, my friend, these are not children anymore. That is what I'm trying to tell you. These, they
right,
may
who else needs
resemble
summons?
children somewhat, but they are not. Their souls are not human.
Ooh, I'll click
It
the
was
portal.
where's this
Too many people.
building you're talking about?
Everybody needs to
And I think
get
we and I
outta
are
here.
standing right close to the edge of it. I think now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, no, you're at here. Hold on.
I can't click on the damn
Did it
portal
have
'cause-
windows?
Hold on, let me go back. You're basically so essentially the building that Zulia was trying to pick the lock of is here.
Oh, I'm sorry. See, I thought we were across the road at the middle one. Never mind.
No, in the building that is right, Rush. That's the one you wanted. Zulia?
Yes, that's correct. Sorry,
Okay.
I was muted.
And the building, right, and then the building that you entered was over there.
Yeah, see, I thought we were in this
Anybody else
middle
need
one. I don't
summons?
know. The one.
Yeah, no, you went to that one.
So
I mean,
as I look toward that building, I'm like, does it have any windows?
No, it does not. None of the buildings here have windows at all. Actually, they're all solid, which is not unusual in these kind of small desert villages because they get blasted by sandstorms.
Damn people
So they
here.
usually are pretty much door to get in. Sometimes
I'm old
multiple
and
doors.
grumpy. They need to get out of the way.
So yeah, I'm just gonna say, well, I think if that's what you
Yeah,
saw,
no joke.
then perhaps we should wait for our barbarian friend and the,
Okay, anybody else need
the
a
witch and the bard and decide what we must do.
Yes.
We're joining them now, pretty much, right?
Yeah, you guys are pulling in now.
Pulling in, top rolled, top down, and everything.
Yes.
Yeah, I think as this conversation was going on, about the witches, like just right after that, you guys kind of came.
So Uhtred will jump down from his camel and say, "Hey, what have you found?"
Tony, regale the story.
You still probably see some shock on Tan's face as he goes, I believe the wells are poisoned. I do not know 100% sure for now, but I found something very disturbing in this building, and I'll point, the direction of the building. There are creatures would be too strong of a word, but they're not human anymore either. They are all various aged children in this building, but they are not children anymore. They are not human. They are some form of either undead creature or they are some form of monsters that have been created by
Actually, you know what?
sorcerers. Let's put it that way. We are going to have to address the issue, and the only answer I would have is we will have to put them out of their misery, and the Raven God will, of course, welcome them and take away any hunger that their soul still has.
Nonsense is this? Show me.
Well, Follow me. Say, have your weapon ready.
Pull out my bastard sword.
Yes, I mean, as
I
soon as you
mean, if
walk,
we don't have to let these things out, I don't think we should. I mean, let's just test the water and then get out of here.
Well, that is what we waited for you
would
on.
suggest.
We waited for you to use your ability to test the water and see what you think. And I'll continue walking towards the building.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's two wells, but there's a well right in front of the building. So if you all want to go that direction, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, you guys can get over there. You can hear as soon as you get into that kind of courtyard, for lack of a better word, where the well is. You can still hear like scratching and banging at the door. Whatever's on the other side of it can't get out.
Tan, are you sure you want to open this door again?
We have no choice. We must address this issue, even what little human remains of maybe their mind. They need to find some type of peace, and the only peace they will find, we will have to give it to them. But the Raven God will welcome them, I can promise you, from the hunger that they have.
I don't know of any Raven God, but I can certainly write them a nice song when they're gone.
And I'm going to tell, well, I don't see everybody else. I wrote everybody's name down. Rush's character again, to prepare with the crossbow, maybe send it to Whale, and I'll go try to, I guess, open the door again and hope that Ooh is there with me.
Yep. I'll get my crossbow and go wait at the well.
Putrid. I would have my shield attached as well to my
Does he
arm.
put out?
I suggest maybe we open the door. Which way does the door open, in or out?
The door opens in. That's why they can't get through it.
All right.
You would imagine, because you think there's a bunch of things hitting the door, and you would think eventually they'd be able to smash through it, but it's going the wrong way.
I was hoping maybe we could just like open the door enough to let one out at a time. Can we attempt to do that?
Yeah, I mean, you can try. The only issue with that I foresee would be that once you open the door to let one out, you're literally keep your hand on the door to close it. The thing is going to come right next to you.
That's true. All right, never mind.
You know, so I mean, you can do it, but it may not be the safest thing for the person opening the door. I would imagine that you'd want to push the door open and let go of it, but you wouldn't be able to do that in this case.
I will
Yeah, I
make
want to
sure
try
make sure it's all ready.
try to unlock the door again and jump back, with my crossbow ready.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. I mean, since you've already unlocked it once, you can definitely unlock it again. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I'm going to unlock it and just kind of leave it, let it, as I run back enough to get a range.
Okay, so you're going to unlock it and do that. How about, I'll just go down the list so we see everybody's doing. So that's 10. Go ahead.
I'll stand ready just to kind of block the doorway, just to kind of at least try and slow whatever's coming out the door.
Okay, fair enough. How about Penesta?
I'll stand back and have my bow ready.
Okay, 10. Oh, I'm sorry, 10 is Tony's cards. Zulia?
I'm gonna do the same. I'll stand back by the well with my crossbow and just mutter something along the lines of cursed children should not have to suffer.
Okay. And hold on, we got phonetics for Krista. Valkyria, what would you like to do?
Valkyria is gonna stand back sort of behind that other building. I'm sorry, are we going to the left or the right well house?
The right one.
Okay, that's
the
right.
right.
All right, yeah. So I'm gonna stand back like kind of just behind that butcher or blacksmith shop. I think what you said, the double door building. And she's gonna kind of shout out, huh?
Well, that's very far away.
Oh, well, I can't see the
I mean,
map.
you can, but it's super far away. If you want to be part of whatever they're doing, then that's too far away. Because
okay, I want to be kind of like maybe behind the building. I don't know, but either way, like wherever I'm hiding at, Valkyria is going to say like, why don't we just set the building on fire?
Because it's made out of stone would probably be the first reason.
Made out of stone. Okay, never mind then.
So basically, we've got, Barbarian here. Everybody else is stepping back a bit to use their bows, and you're going to be over here, Crystal?
Okay, no, I couldn't see. I couldn't remember the map. So just pull me up, like, basically to the right of the other, like, back, like right here. Like, I don't know if I can mark.
You can
it
write on it. Just hit annotate, and you can do it. Yeah. Put stuff on there.
View. Annotate. Like right here, basically.
No, I'm not that worried about making it precise. I just want to understand what you're doing. Okay, so you're over there. Okay, that's fine. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you're in view. You're in view of everybody else. That's what I want to know. Really, that's the most important thing for me, so that we know who can see each other. All right, let me close this so we can actually talk. Okay, so that's cool. Yeah, you unlock the door, and again, the door opens in, and they don't seem to have the wherewithal to know like that's the case. So when you open the door and you kind of rush back, thinking maybe the door's going to open up, it doesn't immediately open. They're still banging on it, and probably if you wait, if you just kind of watch for a minute or so to see what happens, or I say a minute, but a couple seconds, maybe 20 seconds, you see that occasionally the door kind of like pulls towards because they're like trying to get through, but they don't quite understand what to do. So you think that if you waited long enough, they'd probably get the door open. But if you wanted to push the door open to get this over with quicker, you could do that as well. That's kind of how you want to operate.
Yeah, Tan's going to wait. I mean, unless Uhtred wanted to go up there and do it. I mean, Tan's going to wait till when one walks out, he's going to shoot it with crossbow.
Okay.
I'd be willing to maybe just kind of kick it.
Yeah, if you wanted to like kick the door hard so like it pushes it back and probably lets them through, you could definitely do that. Do a test of strength, we'll say. So that's the D6 one.
6.
6? Yeah, you could. I'm sorry?
I did roll a 6.
You roll a 6, yeah. So you kick it, and I mean, just when you kick it, like there's obviously too many of them on the door to really just get. You're probably gonna have to actually like stand there and push it open if that's what you want to do, because they're just too huddled behind it to be able to just kick it open. Or you can just wait. It's up to you. It depends on how long you want to sit here. If you give enough monkeys typing on a typewriter, right, they'll eventually type a bunch of things.
I don't really want to push it because I want to create kind of a wall in front of the door so we don't get rushed, out the door. So
Yeah.
I'll wait.
Okay.
I don't know what everybody else wants to do, but I'll wait.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you guys are waiting. They seem to. It's one of these things where you're waiting and like the door's like it starts to open up. Everybody gets their crossbows up and then it closes again. This happens like multiple times. I mean, do you just want to wait until it happens, or is there a time limit on how you want to put this?
I'm waiting as far as
Just wait as long as it takes.
Valkyria says, "Well, if you're desperate to get them out, I have a spell that might help you get that door down and kill a bunch of them in the process."
You hear Zulio go, "Uh-oh."
And she'll say, Uhtred, can I cast a spell on you?
You may.
And then she cast Power Word Kill. Sorry, I'm going to cast him. I think I'm going to cast Enlarge. I'm pretty sure it'll work. I just can't remember the range real quick.
Enlargement?
Enlargement, yes.
The range is probably touch, but natural growth in a single object or creature. Yeah. So you can make, if you're going to cast it on your barbarian, you'll make it bigger. If you cast it on the door, it'll blow the door apart. That's for sure. That's what you're saying. But you'll have to get up there.
No,
and touch the
I want to cast it on the barbarian so that the barbarian can go through the door. So if it is touch, then she'll walk up to him and she will say some mumbo jumbos, and then she pokes a needle in his arm and squirts him with something, and all of a sudden his muscles start getting bigger.
Oh.
Yeah, he does more than just get bigger muscles.
Right.
The spell is great in this system.
My lady Valkyria.
Yeah, you get
You
like
feel
50%.
larger.
You grow like half again your normal height.
Yeah, you got pretty big. It doesn't say, and I'm just gonna, because I'm just too nice. I am the nicest GM ever.
Yeah.
Because I prefer to have this kind of thing below your clothes off, but I'm not gonna do it. I'll say your clothes.
It's
Because
magic.
really, I
man.
mean, why are your clothes growing? But we'll say they grow because
Because it's magic, man.
it's too much of the Incredible Hulk in the '70s when I was growing up.
Yeah.
That dude went through so many pairs of pants. All right, so that's fine.
Wasn't the Twilight version where the werewolves' clothes actually shapeshift with them?
Exactly. Yeah. So you just get bigger.
Shape-shifting pants.
Your pants will just be really tight. And it'll
You're basically
show off
wearing
your
spandex.
butt. Yeah.
Like a wrestler.
You're like, I'm huge and my butt looks great in these leathered breeches.
But I'm just more thinking that like he's got hard armor on, which is probably would hurt if you grew. But anyway, that's fine. You grow to 1.5. We're setting it as canon now that the stuff grows with it. So
That makes me about 10 feet tall.
yeah, you do plus 50% damage as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say being that tall, you just have, if you want to kick the door open, you can like kick the door in with no, which normally.
It literally makes you a giant.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'll kick the door in.
Yeah, you kick the door. Because you're so big and you've probably never been this big before, do like a D6 roll to see if you destroy the door or if you just kick it open. Unless you want to destroy it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I rolled a 1.
Yeah,
Good
you
job, Valkyrie.
luckily have a pretty, you're a warrior. So you immediately take to the size. Maybe you swing around your sword a couple times to get a feel for it. And you kick the door open and it just flies open. And you hear the scattering of bodies. Bodies maybe is what you think you might hear, but it more sounds like somebody threw a bunch of sticks or bones across the ground. And you see the doors blown. I mean, it's not destroyed. It's like kicked open. And a few seconds go by. It's dark in there, and you guys are in the bright light. And you start to see things step out. So anybody who has a missile weapon can get a free attack as this first thing steps out.
The ready shooter come in effect?
Yep.
I don't want to be too vulgar, but I'm used to feeling engorged.
Oh, man.
He said, "Oh my god." I had a Viking rune graver, and I used to cast that shit on myself all the time. Like every chance I got, I was just like,
Is armor class 9 hit?
Armor class 9 does not hit.
"Oh,
Yes, then.
hey, man."
How about armor class 1?
Yes, that hits. Oh my!
I rolled an 18.
You stuck him.
Now you're just showing off.
I'm a bard. That's what we do.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hold on.
She
Note here.
has a point.
And
So,
water
yeah,
drink
this-
lasts
this-
for an
this
hour
first-
as well.
This first former child, steps out. It's maybe was maybe like 4 or 5 years old. So it's little. And the bard immediately takes aim and shoots at the child. Do some damage.
3 points.
And you hit this thing, a good shot, right, probably in the head. It's shooting an arrow. I mean, that's pretty much almost a skeleton. And the skull just disintegrates, and the body stands there for a second with no skull, and then falls over. And there's just like bones laying on the ground as more of them step out. Anybody else have a missile weapon?
I do.
That's a bow, I guess.
Yeah,
Ready shooters only.
I have a light crossbow.
Yep, go ahead.
I rolled I can hit. We're going the descending armor class, right?
Is there any other kind, Mr. Modern Player?
I hit armor class 3.
That hits.
Oh, yay! I'm sorry. I read that wrong. I had armor class 7.
That's still hits. Yep.
Okay, good. Okay. I was looking at the wrong side of the thing. All right, D6 plus 1. So 4 plus 1 is 5.
Okay, yeah. That actually, another similar sized child steps out, possibly their sibling. Who knows? And you quickly vanquish the child. Is that all the ready shooters? Yep.
I think so.
Okay, so again, in this one we state our action first, so you don't have to get too complicated. Just give a general idea of what you're going to do, either missile, melee, spell, whatever. I'll just go down the list. Tan.
Missile.
Okay. Penesta.
Missile.
Oh, he left the ring.
Uhtred.
Melee.
Zulia.
Missile.
And Velquara. I will get that eventually.
Run back to the alley and hide.
Okay, so fair enough. All right, so let's roll initiative, I guess, because the barbarian is the closest person. I'll have you roll. Uhtred.
Children,
Just
I'll
straight
keep you.
D6.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
1.
Okay, they're going first. Okay, so they are going to go first with the 2. Actually, well, no, these are skeletons. Okay, they're gonna come out. They actually start to flood out into the space, and by the time you guys get your wherewithal to take a shot at them, there's about 8 of them of various sizes. It looks like some of them might have been older children, but none of them are above 4 feet tall. So they're all definitely children, and you can probably tell by the way they're dressed as well. There's about 9 of them out in the opening. None of them can attack this round though. As they just move, they're just this phase rather. They're just moving out. So then we go into missiles. So I'm just going to go in my order here, unless somebody wants to jump. So 10. So you can go after there's 4. We'll call 4 small children and 5 larger children. So you can choose which one you want to target, small or large.
And it's seeing these figures again, and knowing that they once were regular children is really startled him again as he rolled the same thing on a die and misses again.
Oof. Yeah. It's creepy. Penesta.
All right, I'm going to take a shot at one of the larger children.
Okay.
Armor class 6.
That hits.
Okay, my bow. 4 points of damage.
4 points. All right. Your arrow sinks deeply into one of the larger children, but it's still coming.
Okay.
And Zulia.
I'm going to shoot. I can't pick the one. I picked missile, but can I pick the one I shoot at? Or do I have to do that at the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, you can, but I mean, at this point, you wouldn't know which one anybody else was shooting at. So, you can't target the one that just got hit because you don't know. But you could do it next time.
Gotcha.
We're like method
fire.
quality raiders here.
Yeah. I miss.
You miss.
Yes.
Yeah, these zombie children are scaring you guys.
Pretty sure armor class 9 is not going to hit them.
Nope, doesn't hit.
No.
Their AC is 8. So you were close. The Aquaria, you are running. So then we are into Uhtred, who's right up there in the midst of them.
Sorry.
Have at it, good sir.
Yes.
I will swing.
Always swing.
Let's see. 15. So AC 4?
That hits.
Oh, yeah.
Large child or small child?
We'll go large.
Okay. That's so bad.
Cleave him in twain.
10 damage.
You little bastard. I told you.
Did you add your? Did you multiply by 1.5?
It's orange.
I'm sorry, by what? Oh, what?
By 1.5 because you could.
I did
Yeah.
not.
15 points of damage.
You do an extra 50%
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah, so it'll be 15 damage.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's enough.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage for level 1.
Your sword, your giant bastard sword, chops through this what was once a child, and the dried flesh and bones just scattered in the air, and you choke on it. Actually, I'm sorry I did it backwards. Actually, Amelia's supposed to go first, so I'll remember that next round. Sorry, not that it really matters, but okay. They came out. There's actually 1, 2. Okay, so these are here. These are okay. So there's actually they're moving up to attack. I'm just gonna put one on each of you, just because I'm too nice. The little ones came out first, so the little ones are going to be at the bow shooters. So the little child is going to attack our Prolona with a 3, misses. Another child against the bard, a 4, misses. I mean, these kids aren't really very good at fighting. And
she's
against
also
these,
she's also
7.
very small.
Yeah, they're very small. They try to bite at you and scratch at you. You know, they're like down at your ankles.
No, I'm saying the bard is also very small. That's
true.
I am.
She's
okay, and then
size.
one of the bigger ones is going to go after the barbarian. It should be scared, but it's undead and they don't get scared. Oh my god. It critted. This little child comes out and you just smash one of them, and then you look down and there's a little tiny baby zombie biting at your ankle.
Ankle biter!
And it crits. Oh my god, that's
See?
funny.
Us short people are awesome.
I rolled a d6. It does. All right, it's a monster. I rolled a 5. If you get killed by a baby zombie, that's going to be hilarious. I'm sorry, I can't help it. All right, double damage.
It'll be epic. The most
How much
epic
does
thing.
this thing do? This could be the most epic death ever, but I don't think it's going to be. They're not that strong. Let's see, baby zombies. D4, okay, but double. 4 points. That's a pretty serious bite in the ankle.
It's like my
Yeah, this one of the little ones bites into you. You see, there's still there's 3 of the kind of the bigger kids, and then you see more coming out still. 2 more bigger ones coming out this round, and we got
to keep his foot.
combat. So I'm going to go down and again we'll declare actions. Tan.
I'm going to, with one of them on top of me, I'm going to drop my crossbow and draw out my short sword and dagger and use the offhand weapon parry, which will improve my AC by 1.
Okay, that's a lot to pull out in one round, so you won't be able to attack if you do that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to do that, Dan. I'm just going to pull both of those out.
Okay. Penesta?
If I have one on me, is there a way I can get my sword out, or do I have to take a round and put my bow away?
If you drop your bow on the ground and draw your sword, you can attack the same round, I'll say. But the reason why Tony's character can is he's literally taking 2 weapons out. That's just a lot to do and attack.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that because there's one right on me. Melee.
Yeah, just that you drop the bow, so if, like, say you end up running or something, you'll lose your bow. But that's the only downside to that. Otrid?
I will swing again at a big one.
Okay. Zulia? Julia?
Do I have one on me?
Yeah, there's one on each of you,
Okay.
except for the witch.
Where the hell did I write down my armor? Hold on.
Well, just what's your general action? You don't have to get too into it right now. You got a melee,
Yeah.
you got to try something else.
No, I'm just trying to find out if I can't. I didn't write down armor. Yes, I did. Leather. Okay, so that doesn't work then. Okay, so I'm just going to take my crossbow and just chuck it down into the dirt beside me and pull out my hand axe.
Okay, yeah. So if you're only pulling out one weapon, you can attack.
Yeah.
All right, so basically melee across the board. How about Valkyria? Valkyria. Valkyria. I will get that eventually.
Yeah,
I should-
Valkyria. Yes, like kind of like Valkyrie a little bit. Valkyria.
That's not going to help me.
Anyway.
Yep.
Anyway, Valkyria. She doesn't have any on her, right?
No, none of there is a possibility that they'll come to you, but there's none on you right now. They're not particularly close.
Okay, then she's just gonna say, "Yeah, get them all."
Okay, so nothing. Okay, cool. So let's go with initiative again. Ultrid.
One again.
Wow, they got 2 again. That's fun. Okay, 2 more creep out. Okay, so now there's a lot out there. So now there's 2 on each of you now that are out there, except for the witch, because they're trying to get the closest people first. So the woman's going to go in order from me. So Tan, the first, you have 2 little ones. No, you have 1 little one and 1 big one on you now. 6 for the little one, misses. Ooh, 19 for the bigger one. That's
Yeah, I'm AC3 right now, but that still should hit.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty good hit. But let me just look. They're not particularly good. Now that hits AC1. Okay. That was the bigger one, so he does a D6. 3 points.
Okay.
As it scratches into you. Okay, then down the line, I've got the Bard. There's 2 on you.
Okay.
A small one, which rolls a 9 and misses, and a big one. Well, the big ones are much better fighters. 16. That's going to hit an AC of 4, which
Yep, that should hit me.
hits you. 1 point only. Okay. And Uhtred, you have 2 biggies on you. Miss. No, you have the small one and the big one. I'm sorry. Oh my god. It was literally another crit.
I knew as soon as she said, "Oh my god," I knew what happened.
You have a
Oh my goodness.
wow.
I should have rolled my second character.
Yeah. Yes, you should.
I can't believe that you're a giant and these like baby skeletons are gonna kill you. Oh my god,
Death by
double
1,000
damage again.
Stings, man. Death by 1,000 cuts.
All right, here we go. Okay, 6 points. Ooh, that might take you down. Close to it, right?
I've got 3 hit points left.
All right, yeah. So another one bites into you. Yeah, like you are like fully armored except for your ankles, apparently. So you should probably look into that.
They didn't have pants that went all the way down.
It's because you grew. So see, that's what happened. You grew.
The barbarian
Your
wearing yoga
name is
pants.
not Achilles.
They're short pants.
Never fight in high waters
Oh my god.
when you're a Viking.
Okay. And against, and finally against our assassin. 3 misses. This die either misses terribly or rolls crits and misses again. So yeah, you get no attacks against you, Zulia.
Okay.
And that's it. So it's again just going down the line. Tan, you're drawing, so you're not attacking
Yep,
this round.
yep, nothing for me.
Panesta, you have your sword out now.
Yep. I will roll for that. Just making sure I know what. 14. So that hits armor class 5.
It's
Okay. And I'll take my. I gotta find my D8s. I don't know. I have too many dice.
Never.
No, right? Right? Never enough.
My,
Ooh,
My
7
wife-
points of 7 points of damage on one of the ones
oh
on
man.
me.
Okay. Yeah. One of the little ones comes up and you just smack it and then it goes down. Dead. Uhtred.
Can I make a cleave type action?
No, but I think you get 2 attacks this round, don't you? If you're using your mastery.
Well, I'm not sure how that works yet. So if you say so, I'll go with it.
Yeah, do you have a bastard sword weapon mastery?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
Yeah, then your attack is 3 too. So this is the second round, so you'll get 2 attacks. So you go 1, then 2 is how it works.
Well, that's a.
So that's kind of like a cleave.
AC 5 rather.
That hits.
Okay. 8 damage.
Okay. You kill that one. The first one that critted you. You kill. Actually,
Yeah.
I'll have you kill the second one because it has more hit points. Okay. Uh.
That's an AC 5 again on my second hit,
Okay. So damage.
and that's 7 damage.
Okay.
Oh,
Boom,
7, 8, 9, 10 damage, I guess.
Oh,
My
nice. Okay.
multiplier.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, you're a giant, and you hit both times. I'll give you 1 more attack just because I'm nice.
Cool. So that kills the 2 around me, correct?
Yep. Exactly.
So I'll move over to one that's attacking whoever's closest to me.
Yeah. Actually, there's 1 more coming out the door.
Okay, I'll
So
take that
that's
one.
probably the closest thing to you.
-2 AC.
Nice.
So
Jeebus.
10 damage.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there's 2 on you, and you smash them with your sword, and then spin around quickly, and slash one as it's coming out the door. You kind of look past it, and that tiny bit of like almost paused time, like just after you smash it, and it looks like nothing else is coming up behind it. So there's none around you now. All the rest of them are distributed past the whale, fighting the rest of the party. And that's the end of that round, right? Everybody went. So
Yeah.
coming into the next round, we've got.
I did not go.
Oh no, you didn't go. Okay, yep. Go ahead. There's 2 on you. Oh, so these 2 are on you. I got you. That's fine.
And I rolled a quick crit.
Nice.
Nice.
So roll a
So-
d6.
5.
5, and you are a thief subclass, right? So you'll do double damage.
Okay.
Double dice, not double.
Double dice. Yeah, which is just times 2, or do I roll
Got
2
it.
dice?
Whichever one you like. I usually just multiply, but you can do 2 dice if you like that better.
Oh, okay. I'll just, we'll do it that way.
Dealer's choice.
All
player's
right, I
choice.
rolled a 4, so times 2 is 8.
Nice. You smash one to the ground.
You hear
There's
a hiss.
there's one on you still, but that one has the arrow stuck in it from earlier.
Okay.
I let you kill the good one.
You hear an angry hiss as she cleaves into this one, and it goes down.
Yeah, that was a good shot. Decapitating it, falls to the ground. Okay, that's everybody, right?
Yes.
So coming into the next round, it looks like, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's none on the barbarian anymore. There's 1 on our assassin. There's 1 on, actually there's 2 on the Perlona, and then 1 on the bard.
Yeah.
That makes sense, right? Because you didn't kill any, right, Tony? And there was 2 on you last round. Okay, perfect. So I'm sure. Okay, so I'll go down the list again for actions. 10.
Melee.
Okay. Podesta?
Melee.
Uhtred?
Melee.
Okay, so you'll be able to go in the second phase because you'll have to move the first phase to get to anything. Zulia,
Melee.
Valquaria,
Valkyria, hide.
Heidi.
okay. Now, see, I can't pronounce your name because you're not in the action. All right, last time, hopefully for combat there, Uhtred. Ooh, they got a 5. They're fast.
Hold on. 3.
3. Okay, they're gonna go first. Okay, there's none on you, so that's a good sign. Against the Tan, 7. That's gonna miss. Ooh, 17. That's gonna hit though, for sure.
Yep.
17 hits. No, AC 3. It just hits you. Oh, jeez. D4 damage. Just 1 point.
All right.
There's still 2 on you though. The one that's on the bard
Bring it.
misses terribly, and the one that is on our assassin also misses terribly. Okay, so everybody will get to they all went. So basically, the only the fact that you have to move first, Richard, is that everybody will get to attack before you, which was probably going to happen anyways because of the way I do it. So Tan, go ahead.
Yeah, Tan pulls up his short sword at these 2 on him and starts to drive the short sword down into it. When it bites into him, he turns around and looks. He sees the witch nowhere around, and he yells out, "Witch, do you not have a weapon you can use?" As he drives a short sword down into one. And that's definitely going to hit with a 19 on the die.
Nice.
So, don't worry, only 1 damage, Joe.
Oh, you should be scared.
Distracted by trying to get the witch's attention,
Yes.
its arm falls off, but it's still chattering at you.
Curse not the witch's Tan.
Right. Exactly. What's the witch? Panesta.
I'm gonna swing at the one that's on me.
This is a big one.
14 again, so that's a 5. Armor
That
class.
hits.
Okay.
Damn. Bard
This
is no
dice-
joke.
Ooh, nice. 8 points of damage.
That's enough. You smash another big one. So now we're on the assassin. Zulia.
Yes. Roll. Uh-oh. Yeah, I missed.
Okay. Yeah, you swing at the one that's near you. It's a big one, but it's wounded, but you miss. You can choose where you want to run, since you are actually technically go in the second phase, Uhtred. There's 2 that are attacking Tan, and 1 is on Zulia.
I will go after the ones that are attacking Tan.
Okay. So this round you get 1 attack because you had 2 last round.
Yep,
So
yep. So I'll charge over there. I'm angry. That's AC 0.
that hits you.
Wow, nice.
That's 8 damage.
Nice. Yeah. You come over and you see Tan's yelling and fighting this one off, calling for the witch, and you kind of come up and just smash down the other one that was trying to attack him from behind as it crumbles into dust into the ground. Okay, so I guess there's going to be one more round because that was that whole round. There's currently 2 up.
Was that was
Yeah, just
Ulter
cause.
that smashed that for Tan?
Yes.
When he does that, Valkyria yells out to Tan, "You're welcome for the hell."
Nice. Okay, so you got 2 left, both of which are injured. One's on our Tan, and the other one is on Zulia as we come into the next round of combat. So I'm just going to go down Tan.
Melee again.
Okay, Panista.
Can I get to one around Tan and swing?
Yeah, you'll just have to move the first phase, so you'll
Yep.
go basically you'll go after them, even if you guys win initiative.
That'll be fine.
Uhtred?
Melee.
Okay, Zulia,
Melee.
Velquara. We're getting close.
Valkyria. Valkyria's gonna have her gonna pull her silver dagger out. But I mean, she's still gonna kind of wait where she's at to kind of see what transpires. I think because all those zombies are like way down south anyway, right? But there's none near her.
No.
None got to you because they attacked people that were close. Yeah, I mean, witch is not killing children. That's so strange, but okay. So, let's go for initiative.
I mean, well, these are my kind of children.
That's true. Initiative, Cannon.
Oh, sorry. 1.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God. Okay, they're gonna go first. Okay, so yeah, they're all right.
I
So just
suggest I don't roll initiative next time.
yeah. Well, you got it out of the way at the beginning of the campaign. You won't ever roll it.
Because that's how it works.
That's how it's gonna work. Okay, so the one on Tan could actually attack Tan or the barbarian. So if it's I'll just roll this time. So even will be 10. The odd will be the barbarian. Cool. Even odds. Going after you, Tan. It likes your taste. Oh my God! I rolled a 19. Oof.
Oh no.
Oh no. Only 1 point though. You're tasty, but you have thick skin, I guess, because you're not taking a lot of damage. I mean, over time you are, but not in that one attack. And then the one against the assassin, Zulia, misses terribly. Okay, so 10.
He swings his sword down at it as he's looking towards, and you would notice he calls everyone by just a short name like he does. He looks and he says, "If I don't take this one down, Red, I hope you do."
God damn
I would
it.
hit hot damn it, thank you. I'll hit armor class 5 for 4.
Nice. You take it down, so Red doesn't need to. Yeah, you smash the one that you hit before. But probably you jammed the sword into it the first time, and then the second part is literally just you ripping it up and tearing the head off if it falls to the ground. Okay, so Panesta, you were going to run to 10, but you don't need to do that now because, well, I'll deal with that in second phase. Let's just do the stuff that happens in first phase first, which would be Zulia. You get to attack.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going to stick with my phases.
Uh-oh. No, you said I rolled a 12, so that's armor class 8. Is that good enough?
It's
Yes.
nice.
For 3 points of damage.
Very good. All right. So this one with the arrow in it, it's you've been fencing it a bit, but you finally come swinging around with your weapon and smash into it, and it staggers back and falls to the ground. And as soon as it hits the ground, it's just dust everywhere. And you guys kind of look around, and you can see that these skeletons were, or children, or zombies, or whatever you want to call them. They were long rotted and I should say long dead and kind of like dry rotted out. So like when they just fall apart. And there's like nothing left. You don't see the they look like shards of bone. And you kind of wait a few breaths to see what happens, and nothing else comes out of the building. It seems to be empty. And at least empty of anything else coming out at you right now.
Yeah, Tan collapses to the ground as he is hurt very bad and yells, and he goes,
It was the curse.
"Wit, why don't you run in and see if any of your children are still left in the building?"
Valkyria steps forward and says,
Starts looking around.
sorry, none of these were mine. And never mind. I can't do any healing things right now, so never mind.
So she would look at Valkyria and say, "Can you? We're supposed to be finding water. Can you take a sample of this water or do whatever things that you do?"
Oh, you mean that thing that I said that we should have did and not open the door to the house? Yeah, sure. I guess I could do that.
As I said, cursed children shouldn't be suffered to that fate.
I sing under my breath, "Make yourself useful, Witcher."
I
Terrible.
mean, you don't know what worse for fate you may be sending them to. And Valkyria is going to step towards the well, and is there like a bucket going down?
No bucket.
Basically,
If you move the wood off the top of it, it's just basically a large, like 5 foot or so tunnel, for lack of a better word, going straight down, and you can kind of see a glint at the bottom. It looks like it's probably water.
well, I'm going to need like some rope, something to gather the water with. Also, some like flask or containers would be nice, so I can test smaller portions. I mean, I'm guessing since you just broke into that house, it probably will have those things.
We probably have jugs with us, or a jug.
Sure, surely we have something with us. That's what we come looking for, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't bring containers to take the water back. You're basically going to redirect the caravan if you find something. I mean, but you usually have water skins and stuff, of course.
I mean, I have some silk rope. I don't want to put any in water skins right now. I'd rather have like a bucket or something at first. You know, I want to inspect the water first and make sure it's okay.
I don't have a bucket.
Uhtred's going to go lean against the building that we had opened the door to and just start bandaging his wounds.
Yeah, mechanically, do those bandages do anything?
They stop you from dying if you're bleeding out.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm close, but not quite yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty close.
I'm going to walk back to the blacksmith, what I think is that blacksmith shop, and I'm going to put my ear to the door and take the hilt of my dagger, and I'm just going to go tink, tink, tink like that.
Okay.
See if I hear any noise inside like those creatures.
Okay. Do a listen. What's your listen, I should say? Is it?
I have, what is it?
I think it's a fixed amount, actually. I don't think it's on the thief chart.
I have discern noise.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Hold on, I wrote it down. I can't remember what page it's on. I think it's the last page. Come on.
I want to stipulate that I pick up my bow and collect my 2 arrows. Just so we
Yeah, I mean, you can usually, I mean, there's no real rule for it, I don't think, but we'll say we can recover half of any arrows. That's usually
half?
pretty
Okay.
safe.
1 arrow then.
Yeah.
So my discern noise is 4 of 12. I rolled a 3.
Okay. Typically, I would roll that, but that's okay. I'll let you roll.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you can go
No,
and roll
okay.
it. I didn't know.
Well, no, now you killed the mystery, man. You ruined it for everybody. No, you listen, bang, and you listen for a bit, a minute or so, just to be sure. And yeah, you don't hear anything inside. Nothing's moving around.
All right. In that case, while they're doing that, I'm going to start trying to pick that lock.
Okay. So yeah, what do you guys want to do with the well? I mean, you don't have a bucket. You wouldn't have a bucket.
Valkyria is going to say, like, I mean, we can search that house. If someone will go with me, I mean, just in case, any of those things are still inside.
I'll go with you.
It'd be nice to have another woman's touch around. And Valkyria will begin to head inside that house.
Yeah,
Okay.
Penista will go with her.
Yeah, you guys
And
step
she's just
inside.
looking for some simple things like, some jugs, some containers, bucket.
I'm into a peasant living in the middle of the desert. That's not just a simple thing. It's life, the difference between life and death. Yeah, so you open the door, and yeah, the door's open actually. The light, it's the daylight, right? So it's bright, but of course it's dark inside the building. But your eyes adjust fairly quickly to it, and you this first room that seems to take about half the space is just you notice just all the walls, the floor, everything just like covered with scratches and scraped where these things were probably trying to force their way out. And there may have been some furniture and stuff because you see pieces of broken, pottery and what may have been some art or something that was on the wall, or maybe some furniture is just completely trashed and destroyed. It's just pieces of stuff. But on the other side of the room, because the room is about half the building, there is an open door.
All right. I mean, and are there buckets or anything like that in here?
No, I just told you what was in there.
Okay.
Broken
All right,
shards of wood and remnants of things.
All right, so she'll head down to that second door then.
But someone to philosophize with him.
Yep.
She'll slowly kind of peek her head inside, I guess. Or actually,
I could.
you know what? No, I'm going to do something smarter than that because I have a smart character.
If you want, I can
you.
move silently.
Let me interrupt you for just a second. I gotta step away for 2 seconds. I gotta take the dog out real fast.
Okay.
So, I'll be right back.
We'll do this.
No, what she'll do is she has torches.
Oh, great.
She has 3 of them. She's going to take out one torch. She's not going to light it.
Oh, great.
She's just going to use it to throw it at the door and make a sound
Love
as
that
she's away
movie.
from it.
Okay, hold on. You're gonna light it. Sorry, I couldn't hear because Russia's had sound coming through the speaker. Well,
Sorry.
you're gonna light a torch.
Socrates.
No. She takes it out. She doesn't light it.
Okay.
She doesn't light it. She's just gonna take it out of her backpack and
Dude.
and throw it at the wall where the door is, or throw it at the door basically. But she's gonna stay back, as far as she can, at least 10 feet, if that's how far she could throw a torch. But if she could throw it 30, she'll stand 30 feet back.
Yeah, I mean it's not too hard to throw the thing into the door. So you do that. You take your torch out of your bag or off the side of the bag, and you chuck it into the open doorway. It clatters, I should say, onto the floor. It's a dirt floor, dirt/stone. And you wait. Nothing comes running out, or takes a torch, or seems to not have really any effect that you can perceive.
Okay.
Uhtred
So
hearing the
then,
noise will rush in the door.
I'm sorry.
I said Uhtred hearing that noise will rush into the door and make sure they're okay.
Oh, gonna squeeze because you're so huge.
yeah. Uhtred. Oh, you got in. Good. Hey, could you go make sure my torch is okay for me?
What? Sure.
Yeah, it's right over by that door. Little rascal got away.
Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna move it forward to the door. Is it Uhtred? Because I'm calling you Uhtred.
Uhtred, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Uhtred,
I'm going with Uhtred because it sounds more Viking to me. So Uhtred goes to the door, and you reach down, because you're super tall, and you pick up the little matchstick that is a torch. And I guess it's dark. It's very dark in there because now you're interior to the building with no windows. So you stick your hand in there and grab the torch, and you kind of maybe look around a little bit, but you can see there's a room here. It looks like it takes up the entire back part, as far as you can tell. There does seem to be stuff in here, though. At the very least, is some kind of a large table, but it's really hard to see without any light. I mean, you could if you go in there and hang out for a few minutes, your eyes will probably adjust. But just looking in there, you don't see much.
How tall is the ceiling in here?
like 10 feet.
Oh, so my head just brushing the ceiling.
Yeah, exactly. You could definitely,
I'll
probably with
take
your help.
Valkyria's torch back over to her and hand it to her.
Mhm.
Your torch seems fine.
Thank you, Uhtred. All right, and then she's gonna light up her torch, and she's gonna head into the dark room.
I'll follow her and tell Uhtred, you stand guard, and pat him on this giant thigh, because probably where I can reach him.
A little more to the left, please.
I will roll my eyes
All right, so
really
you,
hard.
Yeah.
Roll my eyes.
yeah. So you move up and with a lit torch, flaming, and you kind of step into the doorway and look into this space. It's pretty much exactly the other half of the space. This was probably some kind of like a kitchen slash stock room. You can see the remnants of what was probably foodstuffs that's very old and now completely gone. There are numerous shelves that are full of like bowls, and there's some pitchers, and there's some cutlery, but there's some forks and spoons, but they all seem to be made out of wood, as far as you can quickly see through it.
There's some pictures. Maybe we could use one of those.
Yeah, it looks like there are a few things in here that we could use. I'm sure we can rig a bowl up.
Valkyria
Mm-hmm.
and
Valkyria, yeah.
Valkyria and Penesta both roll a d20.
Oof. 8.
Oh, sorry. 1 second. 18 baby monsters. That's how many come after me.
Okay. So you're looking around, like I said, you see these shelves, and it's got like the bowls and pitchers and stuff. You're looking for what you could use, and you notice on the top shelf there is one bowl that is kind of like, it's a bit larger. Like you would almost like, would you picture like in our time like a salad bowl? Like it's a pretty big bowl, like the size of, let's say, a wok. It also seems to be wooden, but it's got a beautiful inlay of like carved design that's intricately painted, and it looks like brand new. Like everything else you see in here looks kind of like covered in dust or maybe slightly broken up or whatever. And this thing looks perfect and sitting on the top shelf.
Okay, yeah. Well, Valkyria is definitely going to get that down, thinking it could be her in her mind. The first thing she's going to think is it could be like a witch's crock pot, because she knows that they her mother always kept her cooking pot immaculate. So
Okay.
she's gonna probably reach and take that down, like as almost top importance.
Yeah, definitely. You can reach up there and get it. I mean, it's quite heavy because it's like a nice, like really rich, nice wood, thick sides. And you can see actually that there is some writing, what appears to be like kind of arcane writing on it. You could definitely, like, if you want to if you took the time, you could probably figure it out. But it's like arcane, so you gotta like refer back through your notes or however you keep that stuff, or speak to the nature spirits.
Yeah. So
essentially, your magic ability will allow you to do it, but it'll just take a little time to do it.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to sit there and do that right now, but you can if you want.
Valkyria is gonna say like, yes. These will do. Pencilla. How about you open that back door, which I would have seen because I went into the room. And help Uhtred get those around to the front. I'll meet you there. And she's like, just kind of mindlessly saying this as she's like carrying this large bowl back through the living room and outside.
So you want us to collect the bowls to test the water?
Yeah, just bring them around front, and we'll put everything together at the well, and I'll test it there.
Okay, that's what she says. And when she starts trying to collect some sort of water collection, a pitcher or something, Daniel, that she could use to maybe test the water.
I mean, there's like some cups and stuff like that are wooden and stuff like that. You can get a couple of pitchers. There's definitely stuff in it. There's not like a bucket, but there's definitely things you
Yeah.
can put liquid into.
So that's what I'll do. And I'll
Okay,
follow her
definitely.
back out.
You can
Okay.
do that.
Yeah, as they're putting together the, she'll say, like, we'll probably tell everyone out at the well, like, we found some stuff together, water, so draw some up and I'll see what I can do. Just let me look at this real quick. And she's going to take time to look at that bowl while she still has sunlight.
Well, you're gonna have sunlight for another year, but yeah, you can. Not
Oh,
quite
yeah.
a year.
It's so hard to
Yeah.
get that mindset.
Yeah. Well, this is probably the first time in your adult life that you've experienced it. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but how old are you?
True.
Your character?
18.
Yeah. So you lived through the last time this happened. You were 5. So I mean, you're or no, I guess we're 11. This is the 70. No, 5. Yeah. 5. Anyways, yeah, you could sit down and start to figure out the magic on it. What's everybody else doing while this is going on? So the ones that didn't go in, what do you guys want to do? Anything in particular? Oh, Rush's character's trying to pick the lock.
Yeah, I was going to try and pick the lock, and while I'm picking it, is Tan still outside?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, Tan's outside.
As Tan's outside, and seeing as how they come from the same, like literally the same town, as she starts working at the lock, she would look over at Tan and just say, we were sent to find water. I don't know that I want to have the caravan drink the water from a place suffering from a curse. Even if she says it's clean, I'm not sure that I trust it. And then I would continue trying to pick the lock.
Well, I guess we will wait and see what the witch tells us and make a decision from there. For now, I'm not feeling too well. I'm going to get Red when he comes back out, since he's still gigantic, to help me take the children's bodies around to the back and pile them up and give them their last send-off.
Okay, I'm at green.
As you
You got
will.
a blue?
Okay. I mean, you can try to pick the lock again.
Do I roll that one?
Yeah, you can roll that because that's something that you would know.
That's a 3, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Pretty sure that's what it was. I need to get myself a cheat sheet for my own damn character.
Yeah, well, I would put it
Locks,
on
3.
I usually put it in the abilities part. That makes it easier.
Yeah, I probably need to do that. All right. Nope, I can't get this locked up. So she finally just pulls the things out, and she curses under her breath and shoves her picks back and just walks away from the door in
I don't know.
disgust.
I'm just gonna be here and look pretty.
Okay. You're gonna give up on it? That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you spend some time doing that. So while this is all going on,
Well, I
and you
didn't
know,
see
basically
it. Now, granted, I know it.
Valkyria, you read the bowl, and it says, with a word and a hope, you will never go hungry. And then there's actually like a magical word that's not really pronounceable to anybody that isn't a caster. So I can't pronounce it because I'm not a caster. So there you go.
It says can you write that in chat what it says again?
Well, I can't write it either because I'm not a caster.
No, but can you write
Give me the ball.
The word you
thing
will
up
never
to the
go.
word? With a hope and a word?
Word and hope, but that's fine. Something like that.
We've all seen Army of Darkness. We know what happens if you get them backwards.
That was
Don't
over
read
at
the
Blue.
Latin. Is Uhtred still large? Like,
How long is he large for?
Why don't you check?
oh, stop. Just tell me.
Did you write that chat to everyone, Daniel? Because I
Yeah.
don't see it.
Oh no, I wrote it to Uhtred privately because he's the most important person who should know.
Right. And I can't speak magic.
Man, so we can't tell you because it's. There you go. I said it too.
All right. Okay.
I clearly don't know.
Okay, with a word and a hope. You'll never go hungry. Okay. All right. So she.
And there's a magic word that. Yeah.
Right.
The
Yeah.
magic
So
word
she's
is.
making notes in her book and stuff, doodling the
That's
stuff
the magic
out,
word.
doing translations, and
That's right.
yeah.
I think it was said that I would be larger for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An
So
hour,
you're about half an hour in with all that stuff going on.
Okay. Yeah. So she's just kind of like, oh, interesting. The word's actually just like a Latin word to her. This is what it looks like, some kind of like doctory Latin word. And so she'll turn the bowl upright, and she'll just sort of wave her hand over it and say, Eumaxium, which is the word that it said to speak.
I mean, the word Vero could be Valkyrie because I can't say that either. So yes, when you say that, the bowl suddenly becomes quite heavy and is full of food. It looks to be like fruit and gray like breads and like cheeses and like some like fresh fish. So it's full of food.
Oh! Look at this, everyone! I've got some food, and yeah, she'll bring the bowl over to everyone to see.
Yeah. So mechanically, it's enough food like to use as rations for 3 adults.
Where did you get that food?
One of my like-minded individuals must have lived in this town. They left a gift.
There would be no way that any food would still be fresh left in the town of the dead.
Well, it got here
girlfriend.
it only just now arrived. It's hard to explain exactly. It was not here, but now it's here.
I lean over to 10 and I say
Wow.
it's magic from a cursed place. None of it shall pass my lips.
No, I will not touch it either. Take it away from me.
Very well.
Uhtred being near death will come over and grab whatever's in the bowl and
It is delicious. The fruit is in its prime. Like from if you've ever eaten something that was like at the peak of its season, like there's plums that are just super juicy and sweet, and apples that are crisp, and so on. And it's some of the best food you've ever eaten.
Oh, Valkyria, this is the best I've ever eaten.
Now, Valkyria will take some cheese and some biscuits, and she'll say, Pin, please come join us.
Pan starts loading his crossbow.
Or not Pin, but not Pan, but Pinsta.
I know what you said. I'm just saying Tan starts loading his crossbow, but y'all eating that food.
Okay.
And Ten will take an apple. She'll try.
Yeah,
She'll try it.
It's absolutely delicious.
Yep.
So while they eat, Zulia is going to try one more thing before she just quits the whole lock-picking deal. She's going to go back to that other building that had the relief carvings on it. Yeah,
yep.
And do the same thing. She's going to press her ear to it, and she's going to be like, tink, 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 to see if she hears the scratching and the moaning inside.
No, was it 4 and 6? You said? 4 and 12?
4 out of 6.
4 out of
6.
12.
4 to 12. 4 to 12. Sorry.
4 out of 12. Okay. Yeah, you bang on the door and you're listening, and again, nothing, no sound.
So I start trying to pick the lock there.
Okay.
that
You can do that.
Okay. Yeah. God damn it. Welcome to being a level 1 thief. I cannot pick the lock. So
You want to ask for Tan for help?
yeah, actually, yeah. I'm gonna say I want to call Tan over and I'll say apparently I need more practice. Could you please assist?
Well, if it was as simple of a lock as the last one on that other building, yes, let me try it for you. Not with an 11, I won't.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, this one's tough.
Yeah. So he kind of leans on the door and just kind of looks at it and goes, yeah, well, there you have it then.
Actually, while you're trying to pick it, Tan, you actually think you hear like some scratching sounds inside.
Oh.
Yeah, and I jumped back. I mean, immediately jumped back and probably surprised Zool then.
Yeah. So I'll like freak out and like put my hands on the door and I'll look at him. I was like, you didn't unlock it, did you?
No, I wasn't able to unlock it, but I heard a noise. I hope it's not my mind playing tricks, but there was some noise in there.
Yeah, so we're just going to leave this one alone and just not even say anything to the others.
Yeah, insofar as the other door, you could, if you want. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but if you wanted to, you could have Tan try the other door too, the blacksmith one. Because you never did do that.
Yeah, let's try the.
That's up to you. I mean,
we can try the blacksmith one, but let's leave that one alone.
A 1.
So like when you were picking the lock, like the 3 or 4 times where you failed, you got it like right to the edge where there's only one tumbler left. So that when Tan comes up, Tan's just like, let me see if I can click. It just opens.
Oh, another easy one there.
She just kind of throws her hands up and then slaps them down to her side like that. And then she goes and she pulls the door open real gently and just kind of tries to peer inside.
Yeah, so you pull the door open. It is, it's dark, so it takes a couple seconds for your eyes to adjust. Nothing seems to be moving around in there, though, so you're happy nothing jumps out at you, I guess. Looking straight back, you can see that there's a large, like, furnace, like a blacksmith would use, basically a big oven. And directly in front of it is an anvil that is quite rusted. Sitting on top of this anvil, though, is a small hammer like a blacksmith might use that seems to be with the light glinting from the door. Looks like it's brand new. I mean, it's been used by a blacksmith clearly, but it's definitely not like rusted and beat up like everything else you've seen. And as you kind of your eyes spy around the room, you can see that this probably was a pretty successful blacksmith in its day. There's all kinds of stuff in here. There's various types of, basic weaponry, some shields. There's lots of like farming implements and stuff like that, like just covering the area, like they were either being repaired or built. But unfortunately, you're maybe 100 years too late. They look to be, for the most part, completely rusted out and maybe not. You'd have to dig through to know for sure. But they definitely don't look like they're functional as weapons currently.
So as I'm glancing around, I look at all this stuff and I notice this hammer. I say, "What do you make of that?" I look over at Tan and I say, "What do you make of that?"
I don't know. It is strange. Maybe we should let the witch take a look at it.
Yes. She just reaches over and takes the the hammer and puts it into her like her backpack or whatever, and she says, I believe there's a smith that travels with the caravan. I'll have him look at it.
Even
it's very, very nice. Like when you pick it up, there's not a tiny, like you pick it up off the anvil, and the anvil like under it is like all rusted right where the hammer was, but the hammer itself has got not a speck of rust on it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take it and let the smith that travels with the caravan look at it.
We definitely can do that. Do you want to look around anything else in here?
I mean, I'll give it just a quick glance to see if I see anything that catches my eye.
No, it looks like it's mostly just all rusted out as you originally thought.
Okay. All right. So then I'll go out to rejoin the others.
Okay, so by now you're probably got the the bodies have been moved. The barbarian is normal size again. The food's been eaten, and yeah, you I guess took some samples of the water. I don't know. You don't really have a skill to do that, right? You don't have like a. So we'll just use it as an untrained
I
skill, I
mean,
guess.
I was thinking. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking I'm a witch, so if anyone could, I would be
Yeah,
able
well.
to. You know.
Well, the assassin might also have something to do with. Let me see what the assassin has. I know the
Poisons.
assassin has some kind of a poison thing, but I don't know if you don't get that until later.
No, I can make poisons and think and stuff. I have poison knowledge.
Yeah. Let's see how this works out. Assassin. Let's see. Poison resistance, poison use.
I also have a magician back at the caravan who has alchemy.
Poison manufacture. You don't get that till 9th level, but you do.
Oh, okay.
So between the two of you, I'll say if you help, we'll give it a better. We'll make it. It's it's challenging, at the very least. But I'll make it moderate because there's two of you. So one of you can roll it. Do you have a 4 and 6 chance to kind of be able to tell if the water's clear or not?
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Crystal.
Yeah,
Because you don't really.
Valkyria is the one that was asked to work on the well. So, but she remembers speaking to Zulia on the caravan a few weeks ago about particular flowers and such, which she knows are all have curative properties to them. So she says, Zulia, I believe that you may have expertise enough to be able to help me with this. And she'll roll. And I need to roll what again?
Yeah, I guess I'm going to roll because you're not really going to know if you're right or not unless you want to try it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, you test the water. You do a bunch of different tests. You do the tests that you think are right. Azulia has her own way of kind of testing things. You guys basically, do everything that you think you can do within your power, and the water all seems totally fine. Like none of the bugs you put on it die, or whatever, you put some different herbs in there and they don't change color or whatever it is that you would test. And yeah, it seems like it's clear as far as you can tell.
So Valkyria will say, nothing physical ails these waters, though there may be unseen evils still, but I would feel safe if someone were to drink this water.
You would?
Yes, if someone were to drink that water right now, I would feel safe about that.
Yes, you should probably test it.
I am leery of having the caravan drink water from a place under a curse, but if water is needed, then it is needed. But I would say that if you're saying the water is good and the caravan comes here, I kind of touch Valkyria on the shoulder and point back to this building, and I would say, just make sure that nobody opens the door in that building.
Yeah. Well,
there's more of the children in there, I think.
I have some ink and some paper. I can make some notices and put them on the door. Do not open.
Did you guys search the other buildings?
We didn't really search the rubble ones. But we
Yeah, I'll just show you the map, see what you got going on. Well, actually, we'll take maybe a break in a second, but I'll just show you this first. So let's see if this comes up. So yeah, I mean, you kind of looked. I'll do this. You kind of looked in this one and this one. You didn't search them per se. This one here is the one that you think you hear something inside that has like the nature symbols on it. This one here is the blacksmith shop, which you did actually just go through. And then, of course, this one here had the children. And this is the well that you tested.
And then the top one I checked was secure. The top crumbled.
Here, that's right. I'm sorry. And you also looked in that one. There didn't seem to be anything. So there's several buildings that are closed that you haven't gone into if you want to do that. The water does seem clear based on your tests. And while you guys can all think that over, we'll take a 5-minute break. It sound good?
All
All right.
I'm going to drink coffee.
Pause the recording, so I got to remember to start. Okay, so yeah. I mean, what do you guys want to do? You basically got to, just to recap, you got the 2 wells, one of which you checked. I mean, you probably would assume that both wells are the same, I guess. The water seems fine. You know, there is the debate about whether or not you want to drink water from a place where there was zombie children. You have a lot of buildings that you haven't been into, though, if you did think you wanted to try to check this place out. And also, don't forget that you had seen what's possibly water somewhere else. There was like an oasis or some kind of lake or something if you went further past this place.
Yeah. Zulia would, and that's actually what Zulia would speak up and say, you know, checking the buildings will take time, but if we are to bring the caravan here, then we need to make sure that they're safe. But at the same time, there is a place with natural fresh water that can be checked as well. This is all assuming that we even need to have extra water to begin with.
The best thing to do is to try to search these buildings while we're here. We're not in the best of shape, some of us, but we shouldn't leave and put our backs to it either.
Another fight could be unwise.
Well, maybe this time the witch will step up and burn them down like she said she was going to do.
Or we can just ride to the oasis.
When did I say this? I don't remember saying this.
You said something about burning the buildings down earlier.
Oh, right.
Or we could just ride to the oasis and not abandon towns full of cursed children.
I do think we need to find a better source of water. Not that I distrust you, Valkyria, but this water is still suspect.
And in Zulia, you checked out one of the other buildings. Did you find anything?
We found a building that we probably don't want to open the door to, unless you want to do that whole thing again.
Were you able to get into any of the other buildings?
The blacksmith shop, and I didn't find anything that was of any use.
You found a blacksmith shop. How interesting.
Everything is old and rusted to pieces. None of the weapons or armor inside are as fine as that which you carry.
Hey, Daniel, being Viking, I'm assuming I would know that a lot of the smiths, you know, from where I come from, might hide their treasures, or even the Jarls might hide some of their treasures underneath the anvil. I'd like to go check that out.
That seems legit.
I'll take him to the building.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, the building's open. So you go in there and you see, you know, as I kind of described to the 2 thieves. Well, not that I should call you thieves. Everybody's a thief. To the other 2 players. You see this building that looked like it probably made some of the finest armor. I mean, you can probably, especially as a warrior, you see that some of this stuff, if it was in its good shape, I mean, some of it might even have some value now, but very little unless you really know what to do with it. And there's a big anvil sitting in the center.
Try pushing it over or off where it's standing if possible.
Oh, sure. You can definitely do that. I mean, you're strong enough, I think, that you could probably, with a little oomph, push it over. And, it falls backwards onto the ground. Boosh! And, like, cracks the stone floor beneath it. And, yeah, sure enough, there's like a little cutaway in there, and sitting in there is a small box. The box is made out of some kind of metal. It's not anything that would rust, so it's probably like bronze or something because it's like kind of greenish. Yeah.
Well, you learn something new every day.
Yeah, I'd like to reach in and grab the box, but I don't want to open it. I'd like maybe one of my thieving friends to maybe just check the box and make sure that it's not trapped.
Sure. Yeah. You pick the box up, and you can definitely hear it like shuffle inside. There's definitely stuff in there, like probably metal, aka coins. But sure, a thief can check it, or one of the thieving types, if they have that ability.
I took him there, so I'll
Yeah. What's your chance for finding traps?
my chance is.
Yeah, I don't have it on my sheet here.
Probably 3 out of 12, same as me, probably.
Well, if I have it, see, I don't have all of the thieving skills.
It should be called manipulate traps. Is what it'll be worded as.
Yeah, and I do have that. So yeah, it's 3 out of 12.
Yeah, you don't. It looks clean. I mean, I guess they hit it. That's probably the best way.
Can I tell if it's locked?
It is not locked. It just has a little clasp on it.
So I look over at Uhtred and I go, "You want to do it, or you want me to do it?"
Oh, hell with it. I'll just do it.
You gonna flip it open? Okay.
Flip it open.
Yeah. So you open it up, and maybe you cough a little bit. Some dust comes up because when you were shaking it around, whatever kind of dried paper that it kind of is so old now that it's turned to dust with the coins that are in there, kind of shaking around and disintegrating them. So there was some papers in there, but I mean maybe some of it's readable if you really took time to try to figure it out. Because there's pieces of it. They're probably some kind of bill of sale or whatever. But yeah, there's a bunch of coins in here. You've got it looks like about 100 silver pieces. Oh no, I'm sorry, 250 silver pieces.
Yikes!
That's pretty good.
Even better.
That's a lot of money.
I look at Uhtred and I say, "So the next town, first drink's on you."
Absolutely.
Yeah, 250 silver.
Nice. Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, Zulia's like, note to self: always look under the anvils.
If you can find someone big enough to move it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see that these coins, by the way, are very old. You can tell. In Hyperborea, though, they'll just weigh it like if they're silver coins, and they're silver coins. Most merchants have like a scale, and they just put the coins on there. So it doesn't matter that these are very ancient. They're still very serviceable.
It all spends the same.
I'll give Zulia 50 silver out of it for checking for traps for me.
Nice.
She's like, okay, well, she's like, thank you. And she very quickly and deftly sweeps them into her pouch.
Not sure if we need to share with the whole group or not.
I mean, they didn't come in here and risk anything, did they? I'll buy the second round of drinks. And they'll be fine. You get 2 free drinks out of it for doing nothing.
Sounds good. Thank you for showing me this.
Oh no, thank you for showing me that I need to look under the anvils. She kind of rolls her eyes like, I was kind of stupid not to do that. And then she just starts walking out the door.
All right, back to the group.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, so what do you guys want to do?
Well, I guess I'll start. Well, shit, there's one more closed up building on this side of the street.
Yeah, there's. I'll read the map again.
So what I'll do is before I hit that building, I'll start going to all the other crumbled buildings and just searching around in there. Since I can pretty much look into the rubble and see if there's bad guys. And so if there's not, I'll just go in, search them up.
Yeah, I mean, you basically the first 2 that are in the upper corner there. I figured you looked into both of those already. The third one that you hadn't looked into that's over there at the top. You look in. That one is more like the one that was near the bottom. In other words, it's very old, but it doesn't look like it's been like vagrants haven't been crashing in it. It's got old stuff, but yeah, it's definitely nothing moving in there that seems like it'd be a threat to you. You know, maybe you see a couple lizards or whatever run around, or rats or something, but nothing big enough to be harmful to you.
Right. So then in that case, what Zulia will say is that there's quite a few buildings on the other side that are still intact, and only one over here, other than the one that I'm pretty sure has more of the little monsters in it. So I say we check that building before we cross the street and check the others. Go ahead.
I say I can also listen if you want to listen at different doors. The thieves who can discern noise.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 doors of this building, so
Okay.
we can each try one.
Sure.
All right.
You're both the same, right?
You have 4 or 12?
4 and 12?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, you guys listen. This is a pretty large building. And you get on either side, and you're both listening at the door for a few minutes. And yeah, it sounds pretty quiet.
So I pull out my lockpicks and I go, well, let's see if we can get this to work at least one time today. And I'm going to say I'm going to be at the western door.
Okay. This door is actually not locked. The western door.
Okay.
Yeah.
I peek inside.
Sure. Yeah. You look in, and this looks like it was probably some kind of like inn. I mean, it's only 1 floor, but it looks like it's like a large open space, and kind of in that corner, which would be the southeast. Here, I'll draw a little map inside. So, like in this area here, there's like what looks like some kind of like a bar type. I mean, it's not anymore because it's like knocked over and beat up, but you can tell this is kind of like a sectioned off area. Mm-hmm. This area here that you're first looking into, it looks like maybe travelers could sleep there, or there was tables or whatever they pushed to the side, because you can actually see that currently there's like several like tables and chairs kind of like piled up over here. They're I mean, you'll find if you go up and touch them that they're very old and they kind of fall apart when you touch them. So it looks like somebody like piled them off to the side. And then there's just like kind of other debris in here, kind of over here, almost like it looked like by this door, again, there's like a pile of stuff. So it almost looks like they were kind of blocking this door a bit. Although you can probably get past it without too much effort, but it looks like maybe the door is being blocked.
Do you want to go in and look around, Zulia?
Well, if it's an inn and it has a bar, there may be a very, very old, unbroken bottle of wine.
Agreed.
The single story?
It is, yeah. Everything there is single story.
So,
I would like to go in and search with Zulia if she wants. Yep.
And since we're both like barely 5 feet tall,
right,
we're gonna squeeze past the junk.
You guys kind of you move in into the space, and you can tell that maybe you see some like shards of scraps of material, stuff that look like a little bit more recent, like again, like maybe somebody like kind of was a vagrant and kind of stayed in here at some point, although it's still probably been a while, still even with what you see. And as you move towards that bar area to look, and you kind of look behind it, you do see that there's actually a small, so you got like the bar, and then there's like a small, almost like closet, if you will, that's like kind of facing. So when you look over, there's not like, you would think under a bar there'd be like shelves where you could see stuff, but instead it's like a closed space.
So I'll try it and see if it's unlocked.
Yes, if you circle around and you can look, it looks like it says a latch on it. You can just flip it open.
Let's open it.
Okay, we open it.
Okay.
Boom.
Oh no! Yeah, right. Rush and I are dead.
You flip the latchet and look in, and old but not ancient items are in this storage space. Looks like there's 3 coils of rope, a lantern, and there's a couple of leather, small leather sacks. Although they look again quite old, so you can see they're all cracked and hardened.
So I pull the lantern out, and I just kind of look at it, and I hold it over toward Panesta, and I go, the people in the port city where I come from say that the wine inside of these things is horrible. And I set it off to the side, and I start rummaging through, looking for anything that's useful, particularly useful, or
I would like to see if there's anything in the sacks. Or are they just sacks by themselves?
Yeah, so you grab the sacks, and one of them that you grab, it kind of jingles with coins.
Oh, everybody finds the money but me.
He is up, or he or she is up.
Yeah, and if you were to look in there, there's 125 copper pieces. And the other sack, when you pick it up, it kind of goes ting ting, like there's something in there, like glass.
Ooh.
Like glass?
Yeah, I flick my eyebrows and look over at the sack. What's in there?
Let's see. I will open it.
So you open up the sack, and inside you actually see that this sack is designed where like vials can slide into it and not bang into each other. Probably if you were to oil it up, you might be able to make the sack nice again. It's kind of beat up right now, so you probably because it's all dried, but it's a pretty useful thing to not break vials. And there's 2 vials in there.
Do the vials have liquid in them?
Oh, they do indeed.
So I'd like to pull those out and take a look at them and see if I can figure out if there's some kind of poison or not.
Yeah, I mean, you being an assassin and all that, I'm going to say that you can.
I am an adventurer, sir.
Yeah, go ahead and actually, no, I'm just going to say you can do it. You look at this and you can see that these are actually antidotes. They look like something that you give somebody if they were poisoned.
Well, that might come in handy.
Yeah, we should keep this. Plus, my actual secondary skill is a skinner.
Oh,
so I might be able to figure out how to properly recondition the leather on this bag.
I was a saddler too, so we can figure it out.
We got this, girl.
Right. We sure do.
So I'm gonna be like, yeah, we should. This will be, yeah. Plus, these bags are nice to have.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely recover both. So one of the sacks has the space for 6 potions in it, or 6 vials of things like holy water or potions. The other one's just like a regular sack, but it is a nice leather sack. I mean, it can't hurt to have it.
I'll take the coin one, and you take the potion one.
That'll work.
All right.
Okay.
So we stash those and
No.
I guess come out from behind the bar.
They got gigantic
and
spiders
go,
there.
and I'll go, no wine.
Yeah, they do.
No wine.
No wine. Well, that's, it's not a lie.
I'm hearing a lot of it right now.
Let's see how this works. Let me just check to see how this antidote works. The fruit says it's green, it's clumpy. Oh, it's green and clumpy.
Oh, yay.
Like a spinach smoothie.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Which I've had. It's not
Me
pleasant.
too.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So it has to be drunk. So it is actually, so the way it works is mechanically, so is if somebody's going to die from poison or whatever, they can drink it. But of course they need to drink it. So if they're passed out or whatever, that I like the way he writes it. Imbibed, okay. This task may prove challenging if the sufferer is incapacitated. So make sure you get them before they pass out.
Yeah.
So yeah, those 2 are potion of antidote, basically. There's 2 of them. It is green and clumpy.
Green and
Doesn't look very good.
That moon is balanced.
Medicine never tastes good.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, that's basically all that was in there.
All right. So I guess we should check the other side of the street now.
Okay. We'll go back and rejoin our fellows if they're checking anything.
You probably have, yeah, actually, while that was going on, if somebody wanted to check one of the other buildings, the other group, did you guys want to check a different building or are you just waiting?
No,
So
Tan would have been setting. I will show you where he was at. Maybe I can draw on here.
You should be able to.
He's bloodied up pretty good.
I don't
Did that
see
show
anything.
up?
Nope, not yet. Did you hit annotate?
Oh, I hit yeah, and then I hit text, but I don't know how to make it show up.
Oh, I think you have to click on. You do text and you click, and then you just write.
Yep. I see the box now, but
Like that's me. I just wrote that.
No, that's not. Oh,
I got you.
Yeah, I just wrote that. That's how you do it. Ah, now I just moved everything. Apparently, you can't just move it.
Is that the backup, bitch?
Oh, hold on. Select. I guess how you move it. If it hits select, Tony, you should be able to move it. Let me let go of it
well, right
first.
there where you got me, kind of, is I'm right there at the corner of that building, like where I can watch every building from where I'm at right there. That's where I've been sitting right there.
Okay. Yeah, so you're keeping an eye. Keep an eye out for witches.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, yeah. How about the I guess the witch? What were you doing during this period? Crystal.
Once I got the water and everything tested.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I guess there wouldn't have been much left for me to do. She wouldn't feel comfortable exploring any of these, buildings by herself or anything. And has no reason, I guess, to look around at this moment.
Fair enough.
So I guess more than anything, she would just be studying her bowl to see if she the things that she could and couldn't figure out about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that takes time to really study that stuff. Okay, so yeah, so the party is regrouping, I guess, over by Tan. So by the way, I should let you know that because with all that searching, you're probably going to have to head back within the next hour or so to get to meet the caravan because it took you about 4 hours to get out here. You only had 12 hours, so you've been here for a good 3 hours, if not 4. Between the all the searching and the resting and taking the time. And
Well, we have some pretty hurt members, so that's probably not a bad idea to go back to the caravan.
Yeah. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there's 1, 2. Yeah, there's 4 buildings on the right hand side we haven't searched.
Yeah,
so if we spent, we did that.
10 looked in here, and you guys did that. Yeah. So the other 4 buildings have not been explored.
So if we do like 10 minutes each, that should be enough to check them all out and then get back on our way with a little bit of time to spare.
Okay. You and I again?
Sure.
Okay.
Which building? This one? You see my arrow?
Yeah. I don't think
This
we
one?
should go for the one with the big door. Let's go for the one in the south.
This one here,
Yeah.
Sure.
or that one?
The other
This
one. That one.
Okay.
We'll listen.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, this door is unlocked as well. But you want to listen? Let's see.
Yes. And do the thing where I tap with the hilt of my dagger. So if there's something in there, hopefully they'll start rustling around.
Okay, yeah. So you bang and you wait a couple minutes to see. And yeah, it's not locked, but you're listening and you don't hear anything at first, but then you bang and you do it, and you start to hear some shuffling inside.
So we avoid that one.
Do I hear the hissing and the scratching, or do I just hear the noise of something moving?
I mean, you hear something moving towards the door. If you want to wait, you could. I mean, it's coming towards you.
I whisper over to Pinesta. I'm like, what if it's like actual people?
Oh, okay.
What if it's what?
What if it's like actual people?
I think the likelihood of that is very small. I think we're more likely to find zombie children or something worse.
Okay, moving on.
Okay.
If our party was healed completely, I would say let's do it, but even I, as wonderful a bard as I am, don't know if I could do another fight without everyone at full strength. So this,
So you're here, so which direction would you like to go?
wanna
Guess
go
what? You pick this time.
oh, I was gonna say the building behind it.
Yep,
This one?
That one, yes, that one.
the little one.
Another good choice. All right, so. Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Let's see. Yeah, no, this one is locked.
So I'll do the same thing again. I want to listen at the door and get tink, tink, tink.
And
Okay.
I want to listen to.
Okay. You bang, you listen, you hear nothing. And it is definitely locked.
Okay, so we're gonna try to pick it.
Yep, you'll have to
Okay.
do that. I don't have that skill.
Go to what?
I got a 3. I think I actually got it. It worked.
All right, you're messing with it. I was going to say, this one's actually kind of a tough one. You're messing with the lock and click, it unlocks.
So I look over at Panessa. I'm like, well, it only took 4 times. and I open the door slowly and peek my head in.
Okay. You peek your head in and you see a space that looks like it's been, it seemed like it's an open space, not very big. You can see that it's some kind of a living quarters. But of course now it's gone to waste. But as soon as you peek in, you see there's what looks to be a man sitting in a chair, like a wooden chair in the center of the room, kind of with his head down. He's dressed in ratty clothes, and on his side is he's got a belt, and on his side is this like beautiful ornate scabbard with you can see the hilt of the sword sticking out. That's just like it's got like a gem in the pommel. And when you open the door, he brings his face up, and you can see that his whole face is like just dried up, and his teeth are long and pointy, and his eyes are black. And he looks at you with malice, and yeah, we're gonna roll initiative here.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
No.
So, but first,
You got robotic.
what do you want to do?
You got robotic on me. So you said he picked his head up, and
Oh.
I saw you do this, and then you just froze.
Oh, see, really? Oh, that sucks. Now
It's on my end. It's on. I know.
So he looks at you. He has his face is all like dried up and he has like these teeth that are sharp and pointed, and his eyes are just black. And he just looks at you, and then we're gonna roll initiative. But what do you want to do first? Like, what's your move once initiative happens? I guess there's the two of you right now. So Panesta.
I'm going to inspire allies when I can.
Okay. You must know the flute.
Yeah.
Or you gotta tell a poem. All right, that's cool.
I'll probably recite a poem or something.
Okay.
Yes.
That seems
Same
legit.
verse.
And Zulia.
I'm gonna glance at Panessa and go, "Damn it!" like that, and I'm gonna say, "We should probably just run." Would I have enough time to try and use my picks to lock the damn door back?
I mean, it's unlikely that you would be able to do that. You could close the door, probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna close the door and I'll pull my dad.
I mean, or you can run. Like if you close the door, then you're standing there when phase 1 ends. So if this thing moves at you, then it's going to be at the door. So it's up to you. You can either close the door or you can run. Would be the move, like just mechanically.
Yeah, I'm actually going to. I'm going to turn and like grab Panesta like by the shoulder like that, and I'm going to say, "We should really run." And then
I guess I would listen to him. I would listen to
So
him.
you're gonna
Sorry,
move.
her.
So I'm going to start running back toward the big Viking.
There'd be nobody
All
to
right.
inspire.
Yes,
So-
you're getting ready to inspire, and you say run, and then you grab it, and let's roll initiative. Go ahead, Rush. You can roll initiative, I guess. Let's see. 3.
4.
All right, you go first. So movement goes first. So you go. So you move. I guess you're running, right? So that's all you're going to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna run, and while I'm running, I'm gonna shout to Uhtred, and I'm gonna go, "Bad guy, big sword!" Like that.
What? Where?
Coming.
This thing's going to follow. It moves at, oh crap, it's fast. Hold on. Let me just check that.
Is our barbarian still enlarged?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh.
Oh,
He's been small for,
where
it's not like
is
Viagra. It doesn't last 4 hours.
Galena?
If it does, you should seek the first. You should
Right,
seek out
exactly.
the advice of a cleric.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
We'll have to last that long. If you're enlargement, last that long. He is a,
I'm following Banshee.
I'm just checking this guy's speed. So I just want to see how fast he is. Oh no, his movement's there. Okay, so he has normal movement. What's your
I'm
movement?
thinking, oh, she must know where she's going.
Mine is 40.
Mine is
Okay.
also 40. 40.
All right, yeah. So you guys, I mean, you left before him and you outpace him. So you get back to the group and probably yell that out. And the group sees coming up, in that same. You basically ran up at a diagonal, probably past the well towards the group. You see this man, call him. He looks like he probably had fine leather type armor on at one point, but it's such fallen to pieces. So he's practically naked and almost mummified, but you can still see pieces of bone coming out here and there. And the only part of him that's not completely gone to waste is this like belt that's on his waist, and this is this beautiful scabbard and sword on his side, and he's moving towards you like this.
Ugh, we need to get on our camels and get out of here, is what I say. It's time to start camel racing.
Can I ready shooter and get a shot at him before we decide?
Yeah, you can do that. Sure, because he was yelling, so you can shoot him. I mean, it's not really a phase. Yeah, it's a phase 0 thing, I guess, right? Because he's coming into it. Good.
Armor class 1 for
that hits.
2.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the arrow sinks into it. It doesn't seem phased at all, though, and it's still moving forward. Okay, so I guess he's a bit away, but let's just keep it an initiative so we can figure out the action. So what's everybody plan? So we're just going to go down the line. Tan, what do you want to do?
Well,
This guy
if I would have heard Penn yell out, let's leave, he'll start making his way towards the camel after unleashing his crossbow.
Okay. How about Panesta?
Yeah, I'm going to go for my camel.
Okay. Uhtred?
Everybody's leaving. So, I guess I'll go for my camel.
Yeah, well. Zulia, it's never the barbarians that's going to want to leave, so it's good that it's them. Zulia.
Well, I've only got 3 hit points. There's not a whole lot I can do.
Exactly. But you don't want to be the one to be like, I gotta go, because you're the barbarian, right?
Yeah, I'll hesitate.
Right.
I'll tell you what, I'll hold my action until everybody else is on their camels. How's that?
There you go. That's a badass move. There you go. Zulia.
What you do is you just let me mount my war steed. That's what I'm doing. Yes.
Is it a war camel?
Yes. So Zulia had her daggers out, and it's like, okay, if we're gonna fight it, she was gonna try and circle around, but when everybody's running for the camels, she's just like, yeah, literally, fuck this place. So she's running. She's gonna run and leap onto the camel, her camel's back, and try and just yah mule and get out of here.
Watch out,
I
they
just love
spin.
the idea of the very petite woman trying to jump onto the back of not even a horse, but a camel.
Yeah,
I'm very dexterous and light on my feet.
And how about
me too, sister.
Yes.
Valkyria?
Valkyria will run up to her camel and scream out, "Why do you keep opening doors?"
102.
Because we're young and stupid.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, nobody's particularly slow, right? So I'll say you should be easily able to go on your camels. And then once you're on your camels, you're way faster than this thing.
Yeah, camels are.
Ride off into the desert one way or the other. either towards the oasis or back towards the way you came. Either way, this thing makes chase, but you quickly outpace him. After you're going for maybe 10 minutes, you look back, he's just a little tiny little speck, not even really following you anymore.
I say we ride for the oasis.
I have a
Okay.
curious question.
Yep.
Is it possible to ride a camel, stay out of the reach of this thing, and shoot it with a short bow?
You could ride the camel and then stop and shoot it. Sure, why not?
And still keep away from it?
Well, you'd have to
Shoot, move, next turn,
Yeah.
then shoot again, then move.
exactly.
Could do that.
You 100% could do that.
I will attempt to do that, because that would be in my nature.
Yeah, let me just see how fast a camel is. I'm sure a camel's quite faster than.
this week, eh?
Oh, geez, okay, camel. Actually, the camel is not. Oh no, you have a doomstray, which is this faster ones actually, which is nice. Yeah, the camel moves 60. Yeah, you're about twice as fast as it is. So
We paid
Yeah,
for the
I mean-
upgrade.
yeah, you definitely. Well, they're actually. I mean, they're not as good in a sense because they don't go as far into the. They don't hold as much water, if I'm not mistaken, but they're smaller. Not that I'm an expert in camels, but I'm pretty sure that's that's the difference.
Dromedaries? Yeah, they are.
Well,
Yeah.
It wouldn't be in my Viking or barbaric nature to just run away from an enemy. So
Yeah, no, it's fine. You definitely can do that if you'd like, and you are faster than it. So what it would amount to is that, I mean, in theory, if you kept losing initiative, it would gain on you eventually.
right.
But it could theoretically catch up because you keep stopping. But you'd definitely be able to get a couple rounds off without even any kind of an issue.
Just,
And I'll let
yeah.
everybody else can go if they want to, but I would stay and try and kill it.
just
No,
remember, his sword is magnificent, and you have 3 hit points.
Yeah, well.
No, Tan will shoot his crossbow also. He'll do the same.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can do that. So the part of the party is heading off towards the oasis. The you two guys are going to stay back and shoot at this thing. So I'll say it's going to take you, let's say, at least a couple of rounds to get enough distance because he was right on you. So you want to get yourself, because you're basically 30, in a short bow. What's the short range on a?
50, 100, and 150.
So 50, right? And that's crossbow's probably longer. So
60,
Yeah.
yeah, mine's
yeah,
60.
if you want to stay together, we'll say 50. So it's going to take you like 2 rounds to get far enough away to be able to stop once and do it without him coming catching you.
And
So
if it's obvious that my fellow countryman is going to take this route, then I'll do the same thing.
okay, yeah, you definitely can do that. So we'll say this is the first round. So let's just, I mean, since it was, even though we said you never roll an initiative again, since it was your idea, Kenneth,
All right.
go ahead. And so you guys are missile firing. Is everybody staying back or is the bard and the witch going to keep going towards the oasis?
I'll stay back and fire. Everybody else is.
I mean, the witch doesn't have anything else she can do, so I'm gonna say she's not gonna just like take off without the group. But if everyone's
Okay.
gonna stop to shoot at it, she'll probably just be like, just outrun it.
Okay, that's fine. You can do that. Okay, so let's roll initiative. Uhtred.
I actually rolled a 5.
Hey!
You got a 6.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. So, all right. So this is the thing that could have happened. Like I said, so if no matter what, you're going to go first because even if he charges you, which means he can move 60, which is as close as you guys are, he would still go second phase. You'll still all get a shot at him first. So, actually, you didn't need to be at 50. You just need to be less than the medium range. So why would you stop at 50? That doesn't make any sense. What you want to do is stop at like 90, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you would do. You're smarter than that. Okay, yeah. So you're not going to stop at 60. It's fine. Even if he charges at you, you can still shoot him. You can do that. It's just that what's going to happen is you're going to have to then ride for 2 more rounds and then stop. So that's the only way you're going to be able to get that distance on him. It's going to be slower, but it's fine. Yeah, I don't think you really care. Well, I mean, you care only in the sense you have to meet the caravan again. All right, so everybody take a shot at him. I'll just go down the list. 10.
Armor class 2 for 5.
Okay. Good solid shot. Sticks right into him. He doesn't even pause. He's still running at you. Sorry. Pesta?
Wait, hang on. No, I don't think I made a 10, so armor class 9. I probably
Nope, that's
missed
not
him.
yet. No,
Yep.
shoots past him as he's charging towards you.
Okay.
Uhtred.
Let's see. Armor class 6.
That misses. Shoots past him.
Okay.
Julia.
So now that I remember my attack bonus, I hit armor class 4. Is that
Sorry,
good?
That
I'm a
hits.
little late. I was talking
Okay,
to my
for
kid.
5 points of damage.
Another good solid shot right in the chest. He doesn't even pause. He's charging at you full tech. And then I guess you're going to ride off. He charges at you. He's like 30 feet away now, and then you're going to ride out another 2 rounds to make the distance on him.
If arrows aren't doing anything, do we want to keep doing this?
Yeah.
I will yell.
Yeah, so you ride out again, you stop, and then, what do you want to do this round?
I would try to hit one more time just to see.
Okay.
Yep, never shot.
All right.
Okay.
One more time.
I
10.
would.
Oh,
Or
sorry.
use typhoon.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You have to do initiative first. Not that it really matters. But it will matter because you want to go far. Initiative again. 3. Okay, you guys are first. So 10.
Armor class 5 for 3.
That hits. Yep. Shoots right into his arm. Doesn't even slow down. Keeps coming. Vanessa.
All right. Yeah, armor class 2, so that would probably hit.
Yep. Definitely.
For 3.
Okay.
Oh,
Sticks into
that
his
just,
arm.
I was about
Keeps
to say,
coming.
that just makes me want to tell him to do it.
Uhtred.
Sorry. Okay. Armor class 2.
You know what? I bet you anything if you hadn't said, don't tell.
5 damage.
Oh, wow. Yeah, nice, good solid shot right in his chest. Doesn't even slow down. Zulia. Sorry, I muted you because it's loud in your background.
Yeah, sorry, Michelle's playing
Sorry,
the
it's your
game.
turn.
I hit armor class 5 for
Hits.
5 points of damage.
Good solid shot right in the chest. Doesn't even slow him down.
Okay. So she's
Nesta. You, as a bard, seem to be thinking that you've heard stories that certain creatures cannot be hurt by mundane means. You put enough arrows in this thing to kill a bull, and it has not moved, hasn't even phased it, and it's charging at you.
Yeah,
Still.
I will yell. It's not going to work. We either need some super strong magic, or we just need to get the hell out.
What about fire?
I mean, yeah, does anybody... I don't have fire. Do you have fire?
I look at the witch.
I mean, I have torches, but that's about it. And this is I mean, there's a lot of arrows sticking out of him. So, honestly, I know you hate to run, Uhtred, but this might be... We run so we live to fight tomorrow.
How disgusting.
Yeah.
Fine.
He stomps his foot.
I'm on a camel. The camel stomps his foot.
Camel stomps.
Big camel feet.
Punches the camel, just like going.
then kicks a rock.
The camel spits at him. turns around and
Valkyria
spits at him.
says, well, I have a silver dagger if you want to try it. But you're going to have to be in close range with it.
Nope. She turns her camel and starts to ride on.
Like I said, we live to fight another day. I can write us a song of glory. I can pretend that we actually fought this thing and won. I'll write us a great song for next time, I promise. But we need to get out of here.
You guys head toward the caravan. I will lead it away. I don't want this
Okay,
thing coming back to the caravan.
No, of course not. You're leading the way. I gotcha. So you're going to retreat away from this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And its
I'm going to.
beautiful, glimmering sword that it has on its waist.
What I think Uhtred would head it back towards the town and try and lose it somehow, and then head to the caravan.
Oh, I see. You're going to try to get it to follow you and then away from the rest.
Yes.
Yeah, you
We
can
were
do that. I
heading
mean,
for the
it'll follow you
oasis.
if you
Do
wait
we
for
wanna
it.
circle?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, are you going to go the rest of you are going to go towards the oasis? And is that what you're saying?
I was
And
saying
Uhtred's
we
gonna go
were
back
headed
towards-
that way, but I don't know if we want to try
Yeah.
to circle back to the caravan if our time's getting short.
Yeah, if we have time to swing by and just look at the water and make sure that it's not obviously something wrong with it, fine. If not, then we'll just head straight.
Yeah, I mean, you won't have time to truly like investigate it. You could like just look and make sure there's actually water there. But to go down there and well, I mean, you could. You just might miss the caravan. You'll be in the middle of the desert.
No, we'll just go look at it, make sure it's not like yellow muck water. If it looks clean, then we'll just go tell them.
Okay. Yeah, so that's fine. I'll say that Uhtred, you're a skilled warrior and you know what you're doing, and this thing is not particularly fast. So, with a little bit of deception, you're able to kind of bring it back to the town or that direction, then lose it, and then circle back around and re-hook up with the party. But while you're doing that, the party moves towards the oasis, and yeah, I mean the oasis looks, without getting off the camels or taking too much time to investigate it, it looks like a decent sized, small like spring bubbling up out of the water. You're maybe at this point like 500 yards away from it. It looks, it's not like it doesn't look like a swamp. It looks like, and you can definitely see that there's small palms and cacti and some other plants growing around it. So it looks like it's fertile.
Mm-hmm.
She would ride by it and go, "That's good enough for me."
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get closer to it, then you're just going to risk not getting back to the caravan, but that's up to you. It depends on how close you want to get.
That's good enough. Zulia's already like way out of her usual character at this point. She's like, "I just want to get the hell out of here."
Yeah, and I'm not going to go anywhere near that lich-like thing. So.
Oh yes, to be first level.
Yeah, I said it was Sarah, didn't I?
You did.
Yep.
Let's make
It
like a
is, yeah.
bakery truck and haul buns out of here.
All right, yeah. So basically you guys go up towards the oasis, like 500 or so yards away. You're like, yeah, it looks clean. You just circle back this way, and then during that time, the barbarian went this way and lost to Sararak in the crowd, and then went this way and then circled back around like this, and then you guys kind of meet over here and you head off towards the caravan. What you're able to do, I mean, you kind of get to the meeting point for the caravan, and they've been waiting for you for like a little bit. They got there a little earlier. They're kind of all gathered around in a circle, like they got everybody like grouped together, almost like it was attacked. As you kind of pull up onto it, although there's no attack clearly, and you dismount from your camels and step into the center, and you see that the old woman, the witch, is standing. Just kind of almost like she was walking, and she's like in that kind of position. But when you look at her, she is actually transformed into salt.
Transformed into salt.
She's become a column of salt. Well, not a column. She's shaped like herself. So, and the Dominus sees you all, and he says, "This is not a good portent. We're just going to move faster. We have plenty of water. I'm not going to worry about it. Quickly, get back with the group." And he starts assembling everybody to leave.
This happened in front of us, or it happened before
No.
we got there?
No, she didn't turn to salt in front of you. She was already salt when you got there.
Okay.
Yeah, if you were to once, he doesn't want to take time to answer people's questions right this second. But once but if you have something, Crystal, I'll answer it. Hold on a second. But once the caravan gets underway, if you want to ask people stuff, you can. But he doesn't like stand around and say, "Let's look at this thing." Like he's not going to wait for you to investigate it. He just wants to get the hell out of there. But what was your question, Crystal?
if nobody is watching that human of salt, Valkyria would like to collect some in a jar. Because salt's always a good thing to have.
You're going to take a piece of the woman that's turned to salt?
That is correct. Well, she was a witch. Mm-hmm. She'd give and share.
Okay. Salty woman. Good to know.
I love a salty woman.
Somewhere in one of my other campaigns, there's going to be a Sarac wandering through the desert that somebody's going to run into. Because you let him loose. All right, yeah. So you guys mount back up with the caravan. You can take a piece of her. Nobody seems to look at you or notice you, or nobody mentions it to you anyways. As you get back up with the caravan, there's still several days. It was supposed to take, a little over a week to get there, but he's going to try to just push it because he's freaking out a little bit. Dominus. So, if there's questions you want to ask other people about what happened, then, you find out that essentially everybody was waiting for the groups to return, and the witch had come out of her, her cart basically, which she was traveling in, and started speaking in a strange language, and then was struck to salt. And since then, everybody was just waiting to see what the hell happened, and nobody really knows exactly what happened. One of those things that happens in Hyperborea that, doesn't really have an answer at first level. Yeah.
Blasphemer.
Yep. And you, exactly. maybe she took the hammer from a blacksmith shop, or maybe she killed baby zombies. I mean, all these things can cause these things.
Speaking of which, see what I did there? Sorry. As we're traveling, I do want to find the smith that's traveling with.
Okay.
And, so the two things, because I need to step away for 2 seconds. Two things that Zulia wants to do is find the smith and show him the hammer and ask what kind of metal would that blacksmith hammer like this be made of, that it does not rust when the anvil that it sat upon did. And also look for somebody who might have some tallow and things that I need so that I can work with, if I need to, with Pinesta's help to get that leather bag back in proper condition.
Okay.
Yep.
You can definitely do that. Basically, the metal is something that there's a smith that's traveling. He's not part of the caravan. I mean, everybody is part of the caravan in the sense that they're all traveling together. And he sees it, and he looks at it, and at first he almost doesn't believe when you describe that to him. Then as he kind of looks at it more, and he tells you that this is made out of some kind of legendary metal called mithril, he thinks. He's never seen it in his life, but it is known to be stronger than steel and not rust and not able to take amazing heat. Thus, you can make the finest weapons with it. So it's quite valuable. It's not necessarily magic in that sense, but to a smith, it's very, very valuable because of what it can do. Like a smith could make weapons that could rival magicked items because of the skill, skilled smith. And the other stuff you can get. There's traders that are part of the, and you guys got some gold and stuff. So I'll say that you'll have to spend if you want to get some tallow and stuff. You guys will need to spend about 10 silver total if you have that.
I'll do that.
And that'll get you the 2 bags fixed. I'll get that die later. So you can definitely do that. Because 125 copper, just so you know, is 5 copper to a silver. So that's 5. And then 20. So you have about 25 silver worth of copper, and then you got 50 silver from your dealings with the barbarian.
I I'm just going to let Panesta keep the copper since I kept the bag.
Right.
Fair trade. So
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
going to take it from the 10 that I got from Uhtred.
Okay. Cool. All right. That's cool. So, okay, good. It's 10:30. The rest of the unless there's something that somebody wants to do, specifically on the way. Secondary. Oh, cool. Okay, that's good. Yeah, you could definitely.
Real quick,
I don't know if you want to tell Uhtred about the hammer, but Uhtred's secondary skill is metalsmith.
I was just kind of saying that on the side, but I did want to say Uhtred would like to go up to Valkyria and ask her, knowing that she's a witch, he would like to ask her, is it possible you can, tell the future or read the bones kind of thing? You know what I'm talking about? Where they pour the bones out of what I've seen and read, they pour the bones out of a leather sack, and then they can read
I have heard of this skill of which you speak, but it is not something that I have the ability to do, or at least it's not within my power yet.
All right, thank you.
What I know,
Mechanically, the rune graver can do that if you're just kind of curious, or if you, I don't know if that was just a role play thing, but
Yeah, it was just kind of a role play thing.
what I know that Uhtred, would Uhtred have displayed or talked about his ability?
No, I haven't said anything. I just
Okay.
Well, I typed it in the side, and I am a metal.
Oh, if you're just wanting a general kind of reading, for role play, then yeah, I can role play something up at least.
I mean, if you don't think it's anything in your skill set, it doesn't matter. I was just kind of throwing it out there.
Yeah, no, she didn't think she could really. There's nothing on the sheet that says I can do that.
So,
okay.
Yeah. In that case, I would just put everything back away and ride along and work on my pouch.
While we're riding, Valkyria will continue to test out that ball and make notes on it and everything until she figures out exactly what all it can do and how long it lasts and stuff.
Yeah,
I
so
will be composing a song about our encounter with the Lich. That's completely inaccurate, but amazing. So.
Yes, I love that a zombie to a first level character is Lich. Well, actually, in sword and sorcery fiction, right? Any dead body's a Lich. So,
right.
That's cool. Yeah, you guys can do all that stuff, and just. Yeah, so mechanically, like I said, I don't know what come on with rune gravers can do that. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, but you can always pretend crystal, but that is actually a skill of a rune graver. What was I going to say about all this? You heal 1 hit die back a day, but we're going to kind of just skip forward a week, so everybody's fully healed. By the time you get to Xambaala, nothing else of note happens. The night before you all get there, you guys are all this is your first time in Xambaala, all of you, but you do know some stuff about it. So I will give you a little rundown of what you know, because the more you know. Let's see.
Well, knowing is half the battle.
That's exactly right. Okay. So, where are we? I'll read the little box text. I love box text, by the way. You learned this about me. Period and odious tales circle through the various Hyperborean ports of call. Rumors whisper of an ancient occult city at Xambaala, which is where you're headed, clinging to the edge of the Zakarth Desert. Perhaps the hideous horrors said to assail the city in the darkest hours are exaggerated. Maybe, too, another explanation can be found for the foreigners who are said to have disappeared to uncanny fates. But the whispering tongues also hint of gold glinting in the shadows of Xambaala, ready to be taken by the bold. And so that's your little, that's what you know, and that's probably why you're on the way there. But you are kind of brought together. All the, you guys have now, I mean, now you're, like I said, all this time you've been with this caravan, you've been kind of just people that are, hey, take the garbage out, do whatever you had to be done. But now that you've become kind of part of the scout, you've been sent first on that first mission, which you've told great stories about. So you've got some like juice with everybody. But also you've been sent out on other minor things during the week, do things. So you're kind of treated as a scout, and you interact and meet with several people. So if throughout the adventure you need to have some kind of a contact, we'll make a chance that you may have met somebody through this position that you have now. But the kind of the last night, when you guys know the next day you're going to be coming in, you guys are sitting around kind of the bonfire, and one of the old men that's been to Xambaala several times, he tells you, beware, though night does not fall in the summer, after the bell tolls, do not be on the streets, for it is dangerous for residents and visitors alike. Demons walk the streets and will take more than just your soul. And then he drinks more, and he says, they won't talk of it there. That's why I tell you now. When the bell rings, make sure you are inside.
Yay.
So he tells you that. So you would know if you ask more questions, just more specifically, there's what's called the event-tide bell. It rings at 8, what will be equivalent to 8 p.m. Every night, even though, of course, it's not night. And rings again. There's a morning tide one that rolls. It rings at 6. Xambaala is a city that has been mostly consumed by the desert. So the main center part of it is very bustling, and there's lots of trade. It's a major trade port, which is why this caravan comes in and out of it. But the city is something like half occupied by a slave caste. Slavery is a major thing in Xambaala, but to the extent that almost, if you could think of like, when they wouldn't say this like to you, but like you could think of almost like ancient Rome, where like there was lots and lots of slaves, but they didn't just like, they walked around and stuff. Like they knew that they were, you know what I'm saying? It's not like they're chained up. The ones that are in chains are usually ones that are dangerous, right? Or have tried to escape. So you need to beware in Xambaala, because it's very easy to be taken up and brought into slavery. It's a very dangerous place. But of course, treasures are spoken of. Everybody loves treasure.
What's the population-wise?
So the population of Xambaala is about of free men is about 1,500, and slaves about 1,200. So and then there's like traders and stuff that come back and forth, but make up another like 500-600. So it's not very big. I mean, it's big compared to where you're from, but it's not like a Cromanium. It's not as big as that. Let me see if I know the population's here, but I think that's roughly right. We're going to go by what I just said.
Well, even still, that's pretty decent size for a medieval.
Oh, no, 1,000 free men, 1,000 foreigners, and 1,200 slaves. That's the same numbers. I just put them out in different things. So about a third of the population is slaves. About a third is free men, and then the other third are like foreigners, which would be what you guys would be, like visitors. But if you look at like Cromanian, like I think that's like 10,000. So that's like a much bigger city. And I have to look to be sure, but that's much bigger. This is one of the bigger cities. Yep.
So they actually do it more like, say, ancient Egypt would do, where like the Hebrews actually had their own little section of city, whereas like with Rome, they lived within the estates of the
right. So when you ask them, what they'll tell you is some of the slaves live in the estates with the owners, but very few. It's more like what you're saying. Basically, what they call the old city, which is the outside part that's mostly being consumed by the sand. That's where most of them live.
Okay.
And they have families out there, and they set up their they're little in ruins or whatever, and they literally at 8:00 when the bell rings, they go out there to their families, and then they stay out there, and then in the morning they come back and they work all day, and then they leave and they come back. But they are slaves. They're like regular workers. They can't leave. Like they can't just run away because they would be
hunted.
Yeah, they're basically a mixed race of Ixian and an Eskimo. So Xambaala was a very powerful ancient city that just went to ruin, like a lot of ancient cities. So you're basically coming here, and as I said, although some of you have picked up some of the treasure, you're going to get paid 20 silver when you arrive. This is the caravan captain tells you he's going to give you the 20 silver when you arrive, and then in 2 days you're going to meet in the bazaar, and he'll give you the 100 silver that you're owed because he has to drop everything off and get paid and blah blah blah. So he tells you that. So you'll have some money for the first like weekend basically when you're there, and then you'll collect the rest of it, and then you're kind of on your own, at least for now, because he's not going back immediately. So
Uhtred's gonna say to Zulia around the fire, I could have Valkyria cast an enlarge spell on me, and we could go behind the dune over there and see what's under that mask.
Oh my god.
She just kind of glares and
Wait, jump down from where?
just shakes her head a moment.
I have a history of, trying to seduce.
You have tried to seduce Rush before, yes.
Yes, indeed. It has to be in the heat of the moment, though.
We're almost to the city. No, we might not have much chance for privacy.
Yeah. Tony and Crystal got to miss that whole debacle. Oh, man.
Yes. Usually Crystal is seducing people. So
Yeah.
we got. All right. So morning, you sleep. Morning comes, you travel just a few hours, and you can see the outskirts. Oh, maybe I'll show you of the city. Oh, I can do this. Oop. This is basically it. Except clearly it doesn't say Hyperborea in the air like that.
While you search it up, Zulia will actually assume that Tonesta is probably going to stick very close to Uhtred. And for fear of being snatched up as a slave, she's probably going to stick very close to Uhtred as well. So while she will spurn his advances, she will not spurn his company.
These are my ladies.
What are those big tall buildings made out of? Like the big tall...
Primarily sandstone. Everything here is mostly made out of the sandstone, and that's everything you're looking at is basically worn down and ruined and with over time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mostly sandstone. The whole place is. Yeah, that's why it's actually, this right here, I think, as I'm looking at it now, this is actually a statue, I believe. And this, I'll have to check, but I'm pretty sure it's all sandstone. The statue's not made out of sandstone, though. But I'll look for you because you kind of see that, right? But okay, so this is Xambaala. You're going to get this map. I put it in the it's the player's handout. So you're coming in from here, Oh, so again, you can see these buildings all buried.
Yeah.
This is the outer city. This is where the slaves put up camp, all around the outside of this. All around here. Going back is the outer city. This over here on this side is the water.
Okay. Yep.
So you get the general fix of it. So that thing that you saw standing up, Tony, is that statue right there, which I can I'll put it in the middle. That thing right there.
Okay, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the other tall thing is probably that, which I'll have to check. But no, I don't think so. That's the Colosseum. It's probably that. Let me look at the actual map.
So it's a
map that has things numbered.
It's a statue that's probably the market square right in the middle.
Yeah, that's the bazaar.
So yeah.
You're gonna basically. So when you get to
You said that.
the main gates, essentially, when you get to here, ish, this general area. Well, here I'll do I keep forgetting I can write on it. So you see you come in, annotate. This is like a big mansion. I'm going to check that to make sure. I got to check that. I believe. Actually, let me just check before I tell you something that I'm not right about it. So just because you can kind of see it. 7, which is that, and then 10. Those would be the first two things that you see. You know, it's hard to have everything open at once, so let me just actually look in the actual module. And if you ask people, they'll give you a general idea of where stuff is, so it's not like I'm giving you away anything that's not. So for the big, you can tell the bazaar, that's pretty obvious, I guess. 5 is the arena, which I think is what I said it was. Yeah. So you don't have numbers on this map, but that thing right there I'm putting in the middle, that's the arena. Oh, actually I can move around. The little circle goes with it, right? That's the arena. So that's huge. Oh, 6 is the other thing that's tall, which is right next to the arena. That thing. That's the blood tower. It is, yeah, I guess it's made out of sandstone because it doesn't say anything else. It said everything in the place is built out of sandstone unless otherwise noted. So it's sandstone. This thing right here, like I said, when you first come in that I circled, that's like a beautiful mansion. And it's like, it's walled actually, I think. But more importantly to you guys, when you come in, Dominus, the guard there, he basically at this area here, he kind of bids you farewell. He gives you the 20 silver. You know, everybody's kind of splitting up here, and he points out a few things. He tells you where the bazaar is. There's a giant well in the center of the bazaar, right there. Right when I move that, you can see the circle. Right, that's working. That's the well. He's going to meet you there in 2 days. Okay. He's dropping you off here though, because he's actually going into this building, which is basically like the most deluxe hotel in the whole place. Like it's basically a triple or double walled like spa with like, you know, slave girls take care of you and like, you know, they feed you fruit and all this other stuff. He tells you though, he says you don't have any money, that you probably want to stay in this district over here because there's some, like that place there is called the Saturn's something or other. Saturn's Luck. It's kind of a medium type place. So in other words, you can stay there without too much chance of getting your throat slit, but it's not going to be super expensive. If you want to stay somewhere cheaper, you can get closer to the docks. It'll be cheaper, but more seedy. And of course, you can wander wherever you want. And the statue. That's what I'm going to tell you what the statue was. The statue is... because you definitely see that as you come in. It's a statue of, I believe, Helios. But let me just make sure I'm right about that. Oh, yeah, okay, that's 9. I was like, cool. Yeah, it's Helios. So basically, I guess. So it kind of looks like that. You see that, right? Helios is like the main god here. So.
Oh, okay.
Really excellent beard.
Yeah, he's like the sun god. So that gives you a general idea. We can definitely, if there's questions or you guys want to know certain areas like in between during the week, we can always, or we can go over it because you guys will be wandering around. You do know this actually when you come into town, that it is the 14th, I believe, of the month now. So we are getting close to the holidays. I always like the holidays. So I don't know. I mean, I want to try to end at 11 minutes, 10:50 now. So if you want, we can either stop right at the gate and you can do the whole walk-in next time. Or if you want to go to the hotel, we can do like a little bit of to get you in there. It's up to you where you want to stop or start. Because if you don't want to stay in the hotel, then we can start at the main gates next time.
Well, Zulia is going to suggest that, I mean, as far as where to stay, she's going to suggest the Saturn's Luck place because it's a new town, so going too seedy may not be the best choice on the first night. But given everything that's happened, a good stiff drink would probably be definitely in order. So, but as far as whether we do that tonight or whatever it's up to everybody else.
Yeah, I can say this for sure. If you say it in front of anybody, they'll definitely want to deter you from trying to sleep out in the desert or whatever, because that's where the slaves are.
Yeah, no, she's not going to do that.
So, and probably you guys have some money that you found, but not everybody knows that. But with the money he's giving you, you're not going to be able to stay anywhere super fancy. So it's kind of up to you if you want to.
But we should have enough to stay at the Saturn's Luck, right?
Yeah, the Saturn's Luck is 3 copper pieces a night. So for the 2 nights, it'll be 6 copper or 1 silver, basically. And you'll spend the rest on drinks probably, because a mug of wine is 1 silver. So yeah, you'll be broke in 2 days.
Okay, that sounds good.
20 is enough to put a good buzz on for a couple of nights, but not go crazy. Yeah, but you also have extra money.
I think to flirt with the caravan owner and see if he'll take me with him.
Nice.
Okay. Go for it.
All right. What do you want me to roll?
Can I help you?
I have to role play it. Dang it.
It's it's Valkyria, right? Valkyria?
Valkyria.
Valkyria? Was that your name?
Yes. You pronounced it perfectly.
I'm pretty good with names.
The first try, I can tell.
Oh,
You're a very intelligent individual. Quite talented with your caravan business and everything.
Thank you. I've been doing it for a while, I think you got to come from place to place, pick up things, drop things off, make the deals.
She kind of giggles and starts kind of rubbing his arms and goes, yes, and you certainly have the muscle to be able to go and lift, it seems.
See, he says, yeah, I do like muscles. Do you know if that Uhtred is with it?
I haven't asked personally, but if you talk to him, you never know what he might say.
Yeah. Maybe I'll see him in a couple of days once I get cleaned up. You never want to hang out, fresh off the road. And he kind of sniffs himself. And then he goes, yeah, I need some pomegranate wine and a lot of soap. And he starts to go back to work.
All right. Then she will later try to sneak into a party and go home with one of the rich people. She doesn't want to live in squander.
Does she make her way back over to us before we go?
Once that fails, yeah, sure. Yeah.
So when she comes back over, I'm just gonna
and she's gonna say, Uthar, I believe that the boss may have some extra work for you later.
What? What's he paying?
That you'll have to take up with him.
All right.
But he might be willing to pay a pretty goal for the extra work that he has in mind.
Interesting.
So I'm gonna grab Tan and just be like, "Come on, I owe you a drink. Let's go get a drink."
Yeah, Penn wants to go get a drink too. And
yeah,
maybe
if you
sing a
want to try
song.
to. Yeah, that's cool. If you want to try to pick up some guy at the beginning of the next session, you can try to do that, Crystal. I'm not going to let you just make a roll to stay. Plus, first of all, you're not going to be where anybody rich would be. You don't know where you are in the town. It's not like that easy. But yeah, and you just get off the road, and, and
if
frankly,
you want to do
probably,
it out of,
yeah, you're
off
not going to
camera
be.
later.
It won't be as easy as you think it might be, because you're literally in a brand new town. You know nobody, so
Sure.
to be able to do that is not that easy. But it's certainly something that you can definitely do. But you'll need to.
Or at 5th level, I'm pretty sure I could do it, but
No. I mean, this module is basically a town module, so you definitely we will meet people. So yeah, you will have the opportunity to meet rich people. So don't fear not, that can happen. Just we'll make it part of the interaction. And where you're going is not a scum. It's not terrible. It's a clean place. It's just not expensive.
squander. I'll not live in squander.
You are living in squander. You're broke.
So,
Living in squander.
do we do the carousing now, or are the rolls?
I don't think you have any money to carouse. We'll let you get away with not carousing this first time.
Oh, okay. I got some money.
Well, no, that's not true. I mean, you all have some money. No, actually, some of you. That's true. You got 20 silver.
I got
Everybody has some
40.
money. Well,
Yeah,
you
I
have.
got 45 silver.
Actually, I got 60
All right.
total.
All right, let's carouse. So the way we're going to do this.
I need to make level 2.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
Oh, I thought you got XP.
Yeah, that would go.
You do, but you're not going to get enough XP for that. Come on.
I know, but every little bit helps.
It basically is just equal to the amount of money that you spend. So you're basically doubling your money. But right now you don't have very much money. All right, let's look at our carousing charts and let's do this. So basically, I'm going to use the one that's made for this, but I might make up my own later because we're going to run out of stuff. So the way I'm going to do it is, the way it's set up here is that you need to roll on the chart every time, but I'm going to have you make a charisma check. And if you pass, you don't have to roll on the chart, because the chart is like, is what it is. So let's just go down the line. So basically, the first thing you want to do is roll. My first carousing. I'm just going to start at the top, Tony, with 10. You're going to roll a D6 to see what percentage of your money is spent.
All right. 2.
2. Okay, so 1d6 times 10% of the money is how much you spent, and you'll get that in XP additional. So just make a note of that. So you only had the 20 silver, right?
Yep.
So whatever that ends up being. So a d6 times 10.
I thought you got to pick an amount.
I rolled another 2.
2. Okay, so 20%. Well, that's easy. So you spend just 4 silver pieces on carousing. That's not terrible. So you get an addition. We'll say we can get 1 extra XP. Right? You know what? It's early. We're still in the first session. Yeah. All right. So, we make a save. So we're going to do. There's not actually a charisma check, but I'm just going to base it on the checks for dex and stuff. So what's your charisma?
12.
Okay, perfect. Let me look up the attributes. Yeah, because it's not an actual charisma check, right? I don't think so. Not the same way there is everything else. No, it's not. Yeah, okay, so we're just going to use the one for strength because it's the same. So 12. So you got 2 and 6. So roll a d6, 1 or a 2. You don't have to roll on the chart.
I rolled a 3.
I don't know. You're rolling on the chart. It's exciting. All right, this is a D100 chart.
Ooh, okay.
Yay!
Let's see here. Oh, man, a 4.
4. Behold my might. You boasted about your strength. Okay, so roll a d6 to see what you boasted about when you started drinking.
All right. A 5.
5. A keg toss.
Oh, gosh.
You told someone so you could throw a keg farther than anybody else. So you're going to make a test of strength. And if you succeed, then we'll give you, you'll get like some extra experience points, we'll say.
Yep, I got a 2 out of 6. So.
Okay, well, better than nothing.
Nope, I rolled a 6.
Okay, yeah, so you fail it. It's a little embarrassing, but, that's how you spend your night. Okay, cool.
Nice.
Panesta,
All right. So what do I
roll
roll
yourself
first?
a d6.
D6?
Yep.
4.
4. Okay, so you're 1d6 times 10% of your wealth, so roll another d6.
Okay. 6.
Okay, 60%. Wow. Okay, you're going to be borrowing some money. So how much money did you make that time? You got that 25.
I had 40. Yeah, I had 45 silver total.
45 silver. So you'll spend 60% of that. on carousing, whichever. I guess, do you want me to do that math for you?
20,
Like, I gotta erase math.
it's like
You got to calculate. I'm not actually going to do it. I'm just going to use a calculator.
Okay.
25. She's going to tie one
So you're going to have
on.
like 18 left. Yeah. So whatever you
Okay.
spent, you got about, 40%, which is what you have left. You have 18 left. So you spent all the rest, about 18. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, you're a bard. And then
Yep.
roll another. No, now you're going to make a charisma check to see if you got yourself in trouble. So again, we're going to, what's your charisma?
15.
Oh yeah, you're correct. Charismatic. So you have a 3 and 6. So 1, 2, 3, you're fine. 4, 5, 6, you could do something.
3.
All right, you're good. You don't have to roll on the chart. You just have a good time drinking.
Dancing on
All
the
right.
table.
Exactly. Uhtred, let's see if you hook up with the caravan master. Roll yourself a d6.
I rolled a 6.
A 6. All right, 60% of your cash is spent. And you had a bunch of money.
I did.
You had 220, right?
That's correct.
It's a rite
Oh,
of
boy.
passage on the first session.
20 times. So remember, everything that you're spending, you mark off as X. You know what I'm going to do? For every silver piece you spend, because there's only silver this time, we'll give you an experience point instead of it being part of gold, because that's kind of silly. So times 0.4. Oh, so I guess you need the other one. So you need 220 times. Does that make sense what I just said there? So every silver that you spend,
Yeah.
it. So do the backwards math and get 1 XP per silver you spend.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just going to do this. 220 times 0.6. All right. So you spent 132 silver. Holy crap.
Jesus Christ. By the bar, a round of crown.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I like the ladies.
And
They probably
hold on.
like-
Did I do that? Was that your first D6 roll?
Yes.
Oh, no, I did that wrong. I'm sorry. If you roll a 5 or a 6, then you do 1d6 times 10 plus 40%. So now you roll another one. So hold on, reverse that. So roll a d6. Another one. What was it?
I rolled a 1.
1. Okay, so 50. So that is actually less. So you spent less this time. So 110 silver is what you spend.
Still.
That's still a lot.
That's still a lot, but it's not as bad. Well, I actually almost want to spend more because more XP. And then in addition to that, now make what's your charisma?
14.
14. Oh, charismatic.
The bartender.
3 and 6.
Love him.
So roll a d6.
I rolled a 3.
3. 1, 2, 3, you make it. So you don't have to roll on the chart either. Only 10 so far has caused himself to be a troublemaker. Zulia.
All right.
Save the witch for last. She's going to be the big one. I can tell.
My first roll is a 4.
Okay, so so if you roll a 4, then it's d6 plus 10%. So then roll a second d6.
6.
6. So you spend 60% of your money. Holy cow.
Wait.
So in the end, you spent more percentage-wise than the barbarian.
Yeah. So I had 60 silver total.
All right, so 60
That's
times.
30.
You're there with me, Zulia.
Yeah, so you spent 36. Yep.
Right,
You have
so
24
I did
left.
24 left.
And make a charisma check. So what's your charisma?
So apparently we're all very charismatic because mine is also 15.
Nice.
So
Also 3 and 6, yeah.
I'm very pretty.
You can dance on the table next to me.
Sweet. So I rolled a 4.
A 4. You get to roll on the chart. Percentage. What kind of trouble did you get into?
D20, right? Or D
No, percentage.
Yeah.
D100.
I rolled a 75.
75. Oh no.
Uh,
You got robbed.
Yeah, really?
You didn't spend your money / treasure. Somebody stole it. So you basically got 1 mug of wine and then like reached in your pocket and that other 40 or whatever was you got pickpocketed.
Oh man, I didn't even have something cool happen.
Nope.
Man, somebody's gonna
you were
get
like
what's in there.
you got robbed. That's all right, and finally,
I dig my
Our-
dagger in
our-
the desk and I'm like, son of a bitch.
maybe that's why Uhtred spent so much. He was buying you drinks. So
Bastard.
Well, I failed at the
Okay.
dude. I was thinking if I could get her good drunk.
all right, Velikra. Velikra. God.
Yeah,
See, I was pronouncing it wrong on purpose And Valkyria, see, I started pronouncing it wrong on purpose, and now I can't pronounce it again.
Yeah.
All right. Give us a d6 to see what percentage you spend.
Are you still rating?
I'm going on this as well. Okay.
Yeah, everybody's got to.
3.
All right, so 3. So that's d6 times 10%. So roll a d6.
6.
All right. You spend 60% of your silver on carousing. So
I
you
don't
had
even know how much I have right now.
you had 20 because that's all everybody has unless you got it from something else.
Okay. I had 1 gold piece because I did the quick thing, and I got 1
Yeah.
gold piece from that.
Yeah, no.
So do I include that or just this?
You don't get that gold piece. I wrote it in the thing. You start with no money.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. No, it's okay. So you will have only 8 silver pieces at the end after your carousing. Go ahead and roll now. What's your charisma? You got high charisma, right?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Really?
I got a 16 charisma.
16. Okay, so you're also 3 and 6. So roll another 6-sider.
Okay. 3.
Okay, yeah, nothing unusual happens. You just spend it on general stuff. Probably trying to get information on some of the rich people in town. You buy a few drinks, or you maybe show off some wealth or whatever you do that would be in your character, but you end up spending that much silver, but without making a fool of yourself. Only the Poloiner. Well, no, that's not true. And the assassin got robbed. Hold on, the 2 thieves got robbed. The 2 thieves lost their money. All right. Well, actually, you didn't get robbed, Tony. Okay, so that ends up being whatever you spent in silver. So in your case, Crystal, it was 12. Remember that's 1 XP per silver you spent on that. The rest of the XP I will put into the
Do I get my 10% from that?
You'll get it on the total XP. Yeah, once you get it. If you get it, do you get it? I don't know. If you get any kind of bonus in XP,
that's why I was asking about it.
Yeah. If you get any bonus in your XP, then you can definitely do that. The other thing we're going to do is anybody who wants to, and anybody can do this, but you have to do it before the next session. If you write up it can be from your character's point of view or however you want to do it, a short, like couple paragraphs about like a log of what happened, and put it in the event, that'll be worth 100 experience points. But you need to do it before the next session. Like you can't go back at the end of the whole thing and do it. So if you don't do it this week, then you can't do it at all, basically, for this session anyways.
That's neat. I like that.
Yeah, so you get 100 for that. Everybody will get, I'll put XP probably tomorrow if I can. So you didn't get that much gold, but you do actually get a decent amount of XP for picking up magic items, and all that stuff is divided amongst everybody. And of course you get it for other stuff that you did. So you'll all get some XP. I doubt that you will level up, but this was kind of the intro adventure. This wasn't even actually the module. This was just building up to it. Now we're at the module. So get you guys spiced up a little bit. And yeah, we'll end there. If I can find the button.